That was a feedback. That was really loud feedback.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask you to please rise, read your caps, and direct your attention to the flag on the left field for the playing of our national anthem.
Good afternoon, baseball fans, and it's time for some NESCAC baseball. That's right, it is the home opener for the Jumbos and the NESCAC opener for the Jumbos as well as they take on the Trinity Bantams. I am your host, Andrew McMillan, joined by
Alex Broder.
And thanks for coming along with us. Weather threatened to keep us out, down and out for the afternoon as rain showers were sort of petering in and out, but the Mother Nature has decided that she wants to see some ball on Huskins Field. So we've got that coming your way just as soon as the players finish warming up. Trinity coming into this game having played 11 games with a 4-7 record under their belts. They've you're coming in strong, having won their last two, but that came at the cost of a 7-game losing streak thus far. Their starting lineup is going to look as such. You've got Stamatis, Toth, Koperniak, Lauder, Mooney, Pierce, Rodriguez, Reinisch, and Orsini in that order. And we'll get those in more detail to you as the game progresses. But they will be playing the Tufts University Jumbos, who, with 10 games under their belts, have amassed a 6-4 record. Their most recent win, 19-3 drubbing of UMass Maritime, that coming just 2 days ago at Mass Maritime. A up-and-down road trip to Virginia started things out. They took up a 5-4 record with some high highs and some low lows. The one of the highs including a 13-2 victory over Lynchburg, and one of the lows coming with a 25-13 loss to Virginia Wesleyan. So the Jumbos will be looking to turn that around a bit. And so, Alex, what do you think will be the biggest keys for the game here?
Well, looking here at the Jumbos' past games, doesn't seem as though offense has been much of a problem with them, but I think that if they can keep the score down for the other team, they'll be in good business, and they should be all set. And again, for Trinity, they've got to come off and they've got to maintain their streakiness, I guess. You got to strike while the iron's hot and keep winning while you can, you know?
You said it. Trinity will be turning to their starter, Eric Moll. But for now, we've got R.J. Hall stepping up to the rubber for the Jumbos. And that is Johnny Stamatis, number 13, first baseman for the Bantams. Stepping in, we are just about ready to get this underway. It is 3:02 p.m. here in Medford, Massachusetts. Let's play some ball.
The entire Tufts team is out here cheering them on for the first pitch of the season here at home. Must feel nice to play at home for once. Spent a lot of time away from here, and they haven't seen this field in a long time.
Stamatis pretty far back in the box for first round. Left foot almost entirely out of the box. First time around, though, nothing new to see. Hall's first pitch going to be get away from the catcher there, but that'll come in there for a strike. First pitch, 3:03 p.m. 0-1 the count to Stamatis. One of the Bantams' more regular players, in fact, started all 11 games for the Bantams so far. That's going to be a ball outside to even the count 1-1 from R.J. Hall.
It's critical to have a good leadoff guy. Someone gets on base, starts off innings.
Tough time for Stamatis, though, recently, rocking at 129 average so far in the season. So looking to spark a little magic as he tips that one just over the head of the catcher here for the Jumbos. Count goes to 1-2. That's Frickman, catcher for the Jumbos. Harrison Frickman behind the dish, as it were. Hall comes set, delivers. That's going to be almost in the dirt and scored away from Frickman to even the count 2-2. And this is just what the Bantams need. Actually, they need to get deep into the counts to start off with. So jumbo pitchers have been effective, but if they can get into their heads early on, they stand a chance to keep up with the Jumbo's firepower. Naknoff's pitch is going to be knocked into left field for a base hit, past the diving shortstop there. And a good effort from the Jumbo shortstop, Shackelford.
That was an all-around good at-bat for a leadoff guy. Got in there, got comfortable, took the first couple pitches out of the way,
It's a solid
and with a nice piece of hitting there.
5 pitches, a quality at-bat, I think, is what the Jumbo baseball players would call that. A lot of pitches and a clean hit to keep things going.
So pick-off attempt, but
Pick-off attempt back to the first baseman. No good. We've got Matt Toth. Toth, the left fielder, stepping in.
he's got a sizable lead there at first base. Checking back again.
Check the runner is unsuccessful once again, but it's not about actually catching him off guard. It's just reminding them, hey, we see you taking that lead, keeping him honest to.
He's a step closer now too.
Hall's offering is going to be a bit outside on that one. Count goes to 1-0.
Let's go from here.
A little bit outside there. You can kind of tell, from our angle at least, it's side on, similar to the camera. You can see
Yeah, go
whether
by
or
the
not
catcher's glove.
batters lean into it or jump away from it for whether or not they're inside or outside. Hall's next pitch is going to be outside and high this time. Count goes to 2-0 for Toth.
Toth stands even further back in the box than Stamatis. His right foot is right foot is entirely out of the box.
Back once again. You can hear the chorus of back from the Trinity dugout. That's part of the game, actually, once you get to the collegiate level, and professional level. If you're not paying attention, hanging on the edge, yelling out cues to the runners and the batters, not going to survive for long. That's just barely going to catch the outside low corner for a strike. Count goes to 2-1 for Matt Toth. Hall gives the runner a long look. So Stamatis still taking a sizable lead.
And he goes here.
Interested in keeping it going, though, and that's going to be corked foul off to the right. Attempted steal from Stamatis is going to be stymied by that. Count will even at 2-2 for Toth. Another fairly solid at-bat for the Trinity Bantams. Exactly what they need to do to get deep into the count here.
That was definitely the hit and run on there. Hitters count 2-1, looking fastball. Might as well send him.
Always a good stab for it. Got to make contact again if they're going to try it again. Offering to Toth is going to be chopped foul, this time right to the Trinity dugout. So a little too late on the last one and a little too early on this one. See if he can find the medium on this next offering. Still count 2-2.
I don't think he really wanted to swing at that pitch. I think he just didn't want to strike out looking.
Runners checked again, especially now with the hit and run, almost certainly still on. Hall checks. He's got to watch the balk there. The worst thing to do would be to give up a free base when
with all this mind games going on and you give up a balk.
Absolutely no reason for it. Hall delivers. It's an off-speed pitch. It's going to be a bit high this time. Toth is going to spit on it, make the count go full.
I think we see the runner in motion here.
3-2 the count. Threat to steal on first. No outs. Top of the first. Jumbo's looking for a double play to squelch the possible rally. The pitch.
Runner
Swing and a
goes.
miss. Going to strike out Toth.
It's going to be safe.
A little too speedy on the base paths for Frickman to catch him. It's going to be a clean stolen base, but a strikeout to end that at bat. Forward K is always a good thing, though. Hate to see those backward Ks where you're just taken out looking.
Yeah, you know, if you're gonna go to the plate, you're there to hit. You're not there to watch the ball. You know, might as well be swinging.
Absolutely. Number 20, Matt Koperniak.
Plus, coaches hate to see those backwards Ks. It definitely doesn't sit well when you see a batter with many of those lined up.
Number 20, Matt Koperniak steps in. Shortstop for the Bantams, has started all 11 games so far, and with the league leading 18 hits. So definitely who the Bantams want up in this scenario with the speedy Stamatis on second.
Tufts looks to the runner back there, but doesn't cover second. It's a bold strategy.
No point in it yet. Just want to make sure that the runner knows what's going on, but you do have to cover that double play depth hole. I actually have no idea where that one missed. And this is times like this when I wish to all the powers that be that we had a center field angle on this for a camera, but nothing doing for now. We're just going to have to speculate why that one was a ball. Count goes to
I think that one might have been a tad low.
Hall checks Stamatis. It's going to be Shackelford actually making an attempt there, but you could hear, maybe you couldn't hear, but the Trinity bench erupted in more back calls.
And they erupted before the throw. As soon as they saw the shortstop heading over there, they were right on it.
Hall looks at the runner again. Stamatis taking a long lead. Hall pitches. That one's going to be corked foul over the backstop there. Count will go to 1-1.
There's a golden retriever behind the backstop there that just took off after that ball.
Koperniak sitting on the season with a .439 average so far. Only 5 RBIs to his name so far. He's looking to change that, though. Definitely one of the critical pieces of this Bantam offense. Another attempt there from the shortstop Shackelford. Nothing doing. Stamatis is not taking too much of a lead. Probably time to move the game along. What do you say, RJ? Hall comes set. Delivers. That's going to be swung on and driven into right center field. That's going to fall, or hit the wall, in fact. Long drive ball for the shortstop Koperniak, and that's going to be a stand-up double and an easy RBI for Stamatis. Trinity takes the lead 1-0 in the first. Another solid at-bat for the Bantams. This is exactly what they need to have happen. Early lead, keep the Jumbos at bay. So we'll see what they do once they get to the bottom half of the inning.
Scoring in the first inning is definitely a critical point. You have to get on the board early and really take the lead in the game. It's always nice to get a run in the first inning. Really set the tone.
Number 28, Mac Lauder, designated hitter, steps in. Lauder, another threat for the Trinity offense. That one's going to look high, but it's probably just about belt high. It's going to fall in for a strike. 0-1 the count.
Lauder comes into this game batting .500, so look to him to have some production.
Lauder with 5 RBIs and one of the 3 home runs for the Bantams also. So power threat also. Off-speed pitch is going to fall in for another strike. Count goes to a quick 0-2.
This is what the Jumbos need more of. Getting ahead early in counts is a critical point to
just time for
keep
Hall
it
to
going.
attack the zone. Let the defense make some plays, and if not, change it up after that. Hall delivers. And that'll be, looks like outside for a ball. Count goes to 1-2. Standard pitching strategy here. You don't want to put anything hittable over the plate in an 0-2 count, especially when the batter is looking to protect.
I'm thinking we see something off speed, maybe a curveball here.
Hall checks the runner again. Koperniak, absolutely no designs on doing anything besides taking an honest lead after the pitch goes. No threat to steal, but Shackelford is staying close. Hall. Looks like I'm going to have to eat my words on that one. Commentator's curse as Koperniak steps out a little further and Hall calls off the build-up to the next pitch. 1-2 the count. And the pitch is going to be low and away. Good play by the catcher Frickman to pick that one up out of the air. Count goes to 2-2 for Matt Lauder.
He's already had a couple good blocks behind the plate there.
McLauder, interestingly enough, with a 1.00 slugging percentage. That's going to be corked into center field. Going to be tracked down by the center fielder for the Jumbos, Casey Santos Ocampo, and a nice throw out to the shortstop. Shackelford is going to hold Koperniak at second. Exactly what the Jumbos needed to keep the inning going. 2 outs now here in the top of the first. Cooper Mooney coming up to the plate. Mooney for the second baseman. That'll be F8 for McLauder. A nice hit, good contact, so he'll be looking to improve upon that next time around the lineup. Cooper Mooney, another one of the threats for the Bantams. He's going to smack that one into right field, but that's going to go right to the right fielder for the Jumbos. That'll be Malcolm Nachmanoff making the play there, and that will end the inning on 1 pitch. So that'll be 2 hits, 1 run, 1 left on base for the Bantams, and no errors for the Jumbos in the first inning. So stay with us. We'll be right back as the Jumbos take their first crack at the Bantam pitching. Quick note, try not to interrupt me too much. Just like talking over each other is just like bad. You know, I should have written down your first names. This is so dumb.
Answer back right now. Let's go. Answer back. Come on, baby. All right, 12. Discipline at the plate. Discipline at the plate right now. Answer back. Come on. Let's go now. What do you say now, kid? Get the runner, babe.
And we're back for the Jumbo's first attempt against that Trinity pitching. Leading off is the second baseman, Sparos Farinos. Farinos so far definitely one of the bigger pieces for the Jumbos. Or excuse me, Elias Farinos. I'm having some flashbacks to last year. That's Elias Farinos, the second baseman for the Jumbos. My apologies for that one. Elias Farinos stepping in. 286 average on the year so far. Going to look to improve upon that for the Jumbos here. Bull's first pitch is going to be a bit inside. Farinos not having it at all. Count will go to 1-0.
And you heard the Jumbos coach advocating for his team to go and catch up and to not...
Slapped on the ground to the third baseman for the Bantams. That will be knocked down and an easy out. Elias Farinos grounds out very quickly to start the first inning off for the Jumbos.
The coach was telling his team to answer back and to be patient at the plate.
Well, that's I think that's advice that all baseball players could use. A little more plate discipline, a little more judiciousness when it comes to choosing your pitches. So. Mole's pitch to Ryan Dawes is going to be in there for a strike, 0-1. Ryan Dawes hitting .333. It's going to tap this one to the third baseman again. Off-balance throw is going to catch it in time, and that's 4 pitches, 2 outs so far for the pitcher, Eric Mole. Really nice play from the third baseman, Ben Reinisch there. Sorry, hadn't gotten to him in the lineup yet, so needed to make sure. Really great defensive effort so far. Another 5-3 in the scorecard for the Jumbos. Tommy O'Hara stepping in for the first time. Arguably the Jumbos' biggest offensive threat. He's been a 4-year starter, has not moved from that third baseman slot, and has moved around the 3, 4, and 5 heart of the lineup order. First pitch swinging, he is not happy with himself. with that one. Was ready to clock that one into the stratosphere, but nothing doing. Big swing and a miss for a strike. 0-1 the count. Mole's offering. Number 2 is a strike. Off speed this time. Seemed to be over the plate. Can't quite tell, especially harder for left-handed batters who are facing away from us. Eric Mole looks to be on lock as he has thrown nothing but strikes so far. A little more plate discipline probably coming from O'Hara. He's going to foul that one off. Probably just close enough to keep O'Hara honest. Count will stay at 0-2. O'Hara, so far, one of the 5 home runs for the Jumbos. Just barely outside the next pitch from Mole. Count will go to 1-2. And there's that legendary plate discipline that we can come to expect from Tommy O'Hara. Will definitely make itself more known. You can see it even now. With the 351 average, O'Hara is still rocking a 547 on-base percentage. So pretty big disparity between hits and not outs, but still manages to reach base more than half the time. Mole's next pitch is going to be a high and still tantalizing. Tantalizing enough for O'Hara to take a big swing and a miss. And that'll be 3 up, 3 down for Eric Mole, and exactly how the Bantams need this to play out. So we'll be right back with some more Trinity batting after this.
Dickie. Let's go. Come on, Dick. You can't be out front on anything with this. You can't throw it by you. He's going to throw his fastball. He's going to throw way out on you. If he comes in, he's going to throw it off your pitch. Right? Just give up. Give up the inner half. Give it to him. Hey, now, Dick. Hey, now, let's go, baby. Just ride it all.
And we're back to season opening NESCAC play for the Jumbos. 1 inning down so far, and Bantams have a slim lead of 1-0 after a productive first inning and unfortunately efficient first time through the top of the order for the Jumbos as they went 3 up, 3 down. Numbers 6, 7, and 8 for the order here for the Bantams. Number 7, the center fielder Brendan Pierce steps in for the first time. Pierce having started 9 games so far for the Bantams. This will be his 10th of 12 games to start. Hall comes set, delivers. Swinging tipped foul. That'll go right back into the backstop on the first time. Strike 1. 0-1 the count to Brendan Pierce. Pierce, the RBI leader for the team right now, as often happens for those in the middle of the order. 7 RBIs on the year so far. Hall's pitch. Off the plate, probably outside, given Pierce's lack of movement. Count will even at 1-1. Hall just looking to settle into some kind of groove right now. Get through the inning quickly. Hall's pitch. Swung on and driven up the middle. Nice play from Shackelford. He's going to fall and get it. Quick up and fire, and a big stretch from the first baseman. Falkson is going to get the put out for 6-3 will be the put out. First out down for the Jumbos in the top of the second.
That was a nice play for Shackelford there. He looked really strong there.
Shackelford getting dirty. That's the 3rd, I think, fall we've seen so far. The first 2 didn't quite make it, but fruitful effort on this last one. Alex Rodriguez, the catcher, stepping in. We were discussing before the game, do we call him A-Rod? Do we call him Pudge because he's a Rodriguez who's catching? No, not sure yet, so we'll keep you updated. But Hall's first pitch is going to swing in there for a strike, 0-1 the count. Back to attacking the zone, just as we were talking about earlier. Find some confidence, get those first strikes in. Hall comes set, delivers. A low strike this time. That looked close to the knees, but no complaining here.
I think it looks more like
Jumbos.
I think it looks more like an A-Rod.
A-Rod it is then. A-Rod. How many other A-Rod nicknames can we come up with? 0-2 the count, though, for our A-Rod here. Hall's pitch. This time quite low. 1-2 the count. Hall looks him down. Catcher signing low. It's going to be below the knees again. Too low. Count will even at 2-2. One out so far in the top of the second for the Bantams. Alex Rodriguez starts to go, but can't actually quite, I don't know what I would call it. I don't think he swung. It's a good pitch. I think it was going to be a strikeout either way. I think I'll give A-Rod the benefit of the doubt there and call that a forward K. Strikeout nonetheless in the second out of the second inning so far. Hall definitely having settled into more of a rhythm as of yet.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure whether that was a swinging strike or not. He definitely was ringing him up either way, though.
Third baseman Ben Reinisch steps in. Ben Reinisch, the subject of attention in the last half of the inning. Lots of defensive effort put in. And another first pitch strike from R.J. Hall will bring the count to 0-1. Starting to feel a couple drops on us right now. Hoping it doesn't amount to more than that. Reinisch steps back in. Hall comes set, delivers. And another strike brings the count to 0-2. Hall, no mercy on the zone right now.
Seems to be settling in nicely here.
Neither for the zone nor for the Trinity batters here, and that's precisely what the Jumbos need. Hall. Height looks good. That's all we can say from here is that the height looked good. It was right about belt high, but probably outside.
And he hit the glove. Wherever the glove was, he hit it.
We'll go for 1-2 the count. Reinisch flashed some letter. Let's see if you can flash some wood on this one. Hall delivers. And that's going to be backwards K, no doubt about it, for the third out of the inning, and definitely exactly the kind of antidote you want for a tough first inning. 3 up, 3 down, 2 strikeouts, no hits, no runs on that one for the Bantams. It is still 1-0, and the Jumbos 4, 5, and 6 will be coming up. We'll be right back. Well, now they say Broder's louder, so I don't know what's going on. All right.
I don't like their hats.
Well, you don't like camo?
I don't know, it just doesn't look good. How I think color combination. The Tufts hats are great.
Thompson and McLaughlin. Bottom half for the second inning coming up for you baseball fans here. Got the right fielder Malcolm Knockmanoff stepping up to the plate. Has started all 10 games of the year so far. One of the RBI leaders, tied for third on the team with 11 so far. Going to see if he can get something going for the Jumbos here. .395 average on the year so far, .521 on base percentage. First pitch swing is going to send that one sky high and tough to see. Tracked by the center fielder there on that one, who will put it away for the first out. One pitch, one out. Same kind of rhythm for the Trinity pitcher, Eric Mull. Nick Faulkson, the first baseman, stepping in. Faulkson, another 10-game starter for the Jumbos, and the RBI leader with 15 under his belt so far for the year. Jumbos have to drive up the pitch count a little bit. First pitch from Mull is going to be off speed and in there for a strike. 0-1 the count. Mull comes set. That's going to be slapped on the ground, back to Reinisch, who, with a little spin move, off target, but wrangled in by the first baseman there. Nice play for the outs. Quick 5-3 put out, puts it 2 outs, and we'll bring up Mike McLaughlin, the left fielder.
It's been busy over there in the hot corner.
Yeah, hot corner for Reinisch for sure. Keeping him honest with a little bit, pulling the ball a bit. Definitely need some more plate disciplines. So looking for those quality at-bats, just more pitches or hits, I think is just what we're looking for. First pitch from Mull. It's a ball, off speed and off the plate. 1-0 the count. That was Stamatis making the nice play at first base. Second pitch from Mull is going to be in there for a strike down at the knees. 1-1 the count. Next pitch swinging is going to be tracked by the center fielder and easy out for number 3. 3 up, 3 down once again for the Jumbos. Easy pitch for Eric Mull, and that'll bring no runs, no hits, and no errors and no runners left on base for the Jumbos. Still 1-0 going into the top of the third, with Christian Orsini set to lead us off in the third. We'll be right back. I gotta get back into a rhythm. Boy.
Do we know why they go down the right field line every time?
No.
Okay. Give them something to do.
Stay warm.
That's where the booze is.
Yeah. Shotgun a beer real quick.
Ball they're using for infield right now looks so gross.
Just wanted to stop like dripping on my papers.
Boy, Dick, just like that. Living low, kid. What do you say, twos? Go, Dickie, come on, babe.
No plate discipline right now.
What do you say now, twos? Twos.
7 pitches.
Very low pitch count so far. And back to Jumbo's baseball here at Huskins Field with that throw down to second base from the catcher, Frickman. First up was Christian Orsini, the right fielder, and this is an interesting case of the second leadoff slot, which I think we've seen a few times in the major leagues when managers choose to bat their pitchers 8th. But Orsini, far and away not far and away, but definitely one of the hotter hitters for the Bantams at the moment, with a .533 average on the season so far. Hall's first pitch is going to be down at the knees and in there for a strike. 0-1 the count in the top of the third inning. Orsini started 7 games of 11, but has 8 hits and 15 at-bats. 1 RBI, but 3 runs scored. That one's going to be swung on and lofted into right field. Knockman off, easily tracking it. Stops before it even comes down to earth, and that'll be the first out of the third inning. 1 away.
I don't even think he moved there. It was hit right to him.
Best kinds of outs, low effort. In a game of efficiency, you want to keep that effort as low as possible. Johnny Stamatis back up to the plate for a second time now in the third inning. great first at bat with a lot of pitches offered by Hall and ending with a clean hit out into left field. Came around to score and also. Hall comes set, delivers. First pitch strike once again, keeping up the ferocity. Keeping up the ferocity from the past inning. 0-1 the count. Hall delivers. That's going to be lofted way high into left field, but still tracked by the left fielder, McLaughlin, excuse me. Good play from the left fielder, McLaughlin, there for the second out of the first inning, 2 away. Excuse me, the third inning. Getting back to jumbo level efficiency on these plate appearances. 4 pitches, 2 outs so far for RJ Hall. If he keeps this up, he'll be pitching well into the game.
That first inning, I was a little shaky about it first with all the mind games going on at first and second base, but he seems to have settled down.
Could be home opener jitters. First pitch, another strike. 0-1 the count for the third time this inning. Matt Toth took a long at bat, but ended up with a strikeout in the first inning. Toth, the left fielder, doing pretty well so far this year with those strikeouts. That'll be 1-1 the count with that outside pitch. Hall comes set, delivers. In the dirt, 2-1 the count. Back a little bit to those shakier mechanics. Hall waits for the pitch, comes set, delivers. Slapped on the ground to, not McLaughlin, excuse me. That's Shackelford. Easy put out for the third out of the inning and a nice, easy 1-2-3 inning for the Jumbos there. No hits, no runs, no errors, no men left on base. Another clean inning. We're going to be home in time for afternoon tea if this keeps up. So stick with us and we'll be right back. So confused because I was looking for K, and it's
strikeout, yeah.
Here's just the one who's got strikeout trouble so far this season. And we're back to jumbo baseball. Bottom of the third inning so far. Tufts has been blanked through 2, but the shortstop Will Shackelford looks to change that as the leadoff in this inning. Really nice defensive play to finish off the top half of this inning. He'll step in about even with the plate. Moles, first pitch. It's going to be bunted down the left field line. And a collision between the pitcher and catcher. That's Mole and Mullen Rodriguez is going to make it an easy infield hit for Shackelford. And the first base runner so far for Tufts this game. First pitch bunting seems to have worked out. Rolled perfectly down the left field line. Wasn't going foul, and not enough communication between Rodriguez and Mole to make the play there.
It was really quick down the first base line, too. He was moving.
Moves well. Healthy lead off at first. Harrison Frickman up to the plate for the Jumbos. First off-speed pitch there is going to be called a strike. 0-1 the count. Shackelford not too much of a threat to steal just yet. Or excuse me, he leads the team. I was looking at the wrong row. 3 stolen bases so far in the year, so Mole's definitely got to keep him honest. Be a little too high for either Frickman or the umpire there. Count will even at 1-1. Tied with Tommy O'Hara, in fact, for stolen bases on the year. Power hitter's got some wheels. His time has passed, though. It's up to the 7, 8, 9 guys to get something going for the Jumbos. First pickoff attempt isn't really close. It's just a reminder, hey, I'm here. I've got the ball. Don't get too comfortable with that lead.
Plus, he's a lefty coming from the stretch. The pickoff move is way easier.
Quick motion to the plate. It's weird. It looked like it started to have motion, but didn't quite have enough oomph to the hook there. Stay a little high, bring the count to 2-1 for Harrison Frickman. Frickman having a little trouble at the plate so far this year. It's going to bring the count to 2-2 in there for a strike. Frickman's only started half the game so far. 4 strikeouts, so he's got the discipline. He just needs a little more luck getting those balls in play to fall where the fielders aren't. Mole checks the runner, looks him down, delivers. Swing and a miss from Harrison Frickman is going to tip it right into Rodriguez's glove for a swinging strikeout. 1 down in the bottom of the third. Casey Santos Ocampo stepping in, another 10-game starter for the Jumbos. He's the center fielder. Definitely one of the pure talent guys. You can see from there he's not the tallest of all time, but he's got a surprising amount of speed and power just tucked away in that compact frame. Look for something short, sharp, and sweet. Little fake out kind of position towards Santos Ocampo, but another check on Shackelford is going to bring Shackelford quickly back to first base. 1 out in the bottom of the third. Santos Ocampo, the batter. Delivery. That's going to be a low strike. Seems pretty consistent, though, the zone. I can't, pick out too many holes. What about you, Alex?
It seems a little bit low, but consistently low.
Nothing bad about a low strike zone. Just something to adjust to. And one of the great sort of minutia things to learn about baseball is where's the zone, what kind of zone.
It changes.
Yeah,
changes from day to day.
Absolutely. Learn to hit everything. Sort of flick wrist maneuver. I would call that an honest, if not genuine, attempt. And the difference being there, he honestly wanted to pick off Shackelford, but there just wasn't quite enough effort put into making a genuine effort there. Second strike to Santos Ocampo is going to bring the count to 0-2.
It almost looked like he tried to quick pitch the pickoff attempt.
So, better execution next time will make it a really, truly genuine effort. But Santos Ocampo in a hole right now, 0-2 the count. Mole's been quite efficient thus far. Jumbos do want to keep something going. The delivery is way high. And pretty obviously a swing. Santos Ocampo not happy with himself. 2 down in the bottom of the third.
It's really hard to lay off high heat. Looks so good.
There was a player for the San Francisco Giants I'll reference. The name of Pablo Sandoval. Loved that high heat. Just could not get enough of it. It was at his eyes. He wanted it. I'm sure you're a Red Sox fan.
Oh, trust me, I know.
You know.
Best contract in baseball, actually.
First pitch to Elias Varinos. Elias Varinos up for the second time will be a strike. Mole back to his attack in the zone ways. Small ball looks like it paid off for Shackelford, who gets checked on again by Mole. 0-1 the count for Elias Varinos. Varinos only starting his 7th game so far. Picked up a fair number of at-bats, though. That was outside. Ball 1. Evens the count at 1-1. 286 average on the year so far.
When you're putting up 19 runs a game, it's easy to put up a couple at bats.
Pad the stats a little bit. Another one outside. You can see actually a little bit even on this one. Varinos is crouching down, trying to lower his center of gravity to line up with that strike zone a bit. Helped him out on that pitch. Brings the count to 2-1. Mole's fourth pitch will be another ball. 3-1 the count. And definitely a better at-bat for Varinos on this one. 4 pitches so far. Higher quality the second time around, as at-bats usually are when you're going up against the same pitcher. Shackelford with his lead. It goes, and that's a pickoff attempt. Easy money for the Bantams there. Shackelford picked like a booger on that one. That'll end the inning on that one. 1 hit, no runs, 1 left on base, no errors for the Bantams there, and the score stays at 1-0. So stick with us. We'll be right back with the 4th inning.
No, you got picked off. Say PO. No, you can call it however you want as long as you know what it means. I can call it caught stealing.
Scheduled to bat for Trinity in the top of the 4th inning. Matt Caperniak, Matt allowed in Cooper Mooney.
Is that a 3-1 count he was going on? Yeah, I don't know. Questionable call.
Might have lost track of it. Thought it was 3-2.
Yeah. You don't pick off the 3-2 count to it. I guess you can.
3-1.
Yeah, that one was.
That's what I'm saying. He picked off because it was 3-1, but Shackelford really thought it was 3-2.
Dickie. Hey now, Dickie. Hey, Twos, let's go, baby. Keep filling it up, Twos. Come on, Twos. Everyone stay up for Dickie. That's great. Go. Come on, Dick. Come on, Twos. Hey, kid. Hey, kid. Hey, kid. Get it back in, Dickie. Let's go. Hey now, Twos. Hey now, Dickie. Come on, baby. Come on, baby.
RJ Hall back to the bump for the Jumbos in the top of the 4th inning. Settled it down nicely after that shaky bit of a first inning. 3 up, 3 down. And a few strikeouts. 3 strikeouts so far through 4 innings. 1 run on 2 hits. First pitch to Caperniak is going to be in the dirt for ball 1. Caperniak, the lone bright spot of offensive output so far this game, with a crisp, clean double into the right center gap. Scored Johnny Stamatis back in the first inning for the only run of the game so far. Hall delivers. Bit low probably on that one, if I had to guess. Didn't look too bad from this angle. 2-0 the count.
He's been the only offense in the game so far. The other hits have been a bunt and a dribbler down the third base line.
That one's in for a strike. Honestly, it looked a little bit high from here, but that's what we get for not having a center field angle on the camera. 2-1 the count. Top of the 4th inning. Caperniak, the shortstop, digging in further back in the box. Waits on that one again, and you could hear the ump on that one actually call ball outside. Count goes to 3-1 for Caperniak. Hall delivers. That's going to be popped up into foul territory. O'Hara, the third baseman, giving chase, but that is just too far away. A little bit too far foul for the left fielder, McLaughlin, to make a play on. Caperniak, a sophomore from Adams, Massachusetts. Hoosac Valley is his former team, making a great impact with the Jumbos in his, the Bantams in his sophomore season. Full count now. Hall delivers. Another foul. This one pops once again down the third base line. O'Hara giving chase. McLaughlin has a better chance, and he's going to make the catch for the first out of the 4th inning. A nice battle. Ends up in favor of RJ Hall. Mac Lauder stepping in for the Jumbos, or excuse me, the Bantams. I'm doing it again. First game jitters, I guess. Gonna work him out though. Mac had a nice at bat that ended in a fly out to the center fielder, Santos Ocampo. Hall delivers. Down at the knees, but called a strike.
He didn't like it.
Low zone. Definitely the low zone today, which we can see, but Lauder might not prefer. He could like those higher strikes. Hall's next delivery is going to be tipped just barely into center field for the second baseman, Varinos, Elias Varinos, to put away easily. 2 down in the 4th.
I think you were surprised by that pitch. It seemed to be an off-speed pitch when they throw him pretty hard. So
Definitely was way out in front of it. Tried to slow down. Then that bat makes contact, and you have to go with it. Cooper Mooney stepping in for the second time. Quick at bat ended the first inning. That one's going to be popped into foul territory. Falkson's got a beat on it, and he will make the play for the 3rd out. 3 up, 3 down once again in the 4th inning. We'll be right back with some more with the bottom of the 4th inning here at Huskins Field. Don't go anywhere.
yeah, I didn't think that's what we were gonna get when we had the first inning.
Mole back on the bump for the Bantams in the bottom of the 4th inning. Blanked the Jumbos so far, which is no mean feat through 3 innings. Although with the Jumbos, it's kind of all or nothing. You're either going to get the full firepower of their offense, or they're going to hit some kind of skid that keeps them from really opening up on their opponents. So Mole seems to have them dialed in for the moment. Could hear some pep talks from the coach, from Coach Casey, saying to be more disciplined at the plate. But Mole's first offering will be spat on by Elias Varinos for a first strike, as Varinos gets a new count despite being up in the bottom of the 3rd inning. That one's going to be smacked to the 3rd baseman, Reinisch. Long throw, kind of off balance, but made for the 5-3 putout, 1 down in the bottom of the 4th.
He's been busy this game, 3rd baseman.
Reinisch and Stamatis both. Stamatis made a couple of good reaches so far, and they have been a good tandem on the hot corners.
Seems like the Jumbo's a little bit early on the ball here.
Ryan Dawes had himself a 5-3 putout in the 1st inning. Spits on that first one. 0-1 the count. Mole seems to know that the Jumbos are trying to be patient and has kept up with attack in the zone. Next pitch, going to be a ball. Looks like it was outside and maybe just a touch high, especially considering this low zone we've got going today. 1-1 the count. Mole comes set, delivers. Off speed, outside, maybe a little bit high too. Count goes to 2-1. Mole definitely given himself a long leash for this game, given how well he's taken down the Jumbos so far. Comes set, delivers. Off speed's going to fall in there for a strike, bring the count to 2-2. Definitely some better patience this time around. Dawes took the second pitch swinging right into a 5-3 putout back in the 1st. Mole's next offering is going to be smacked on the ground. This time the shortstop switched things up a little bit, but an easy 6-3 putout. will make it 2 away in the bottom of the 4th. And that was Koperniak on the putout. Matt Koperniak to Stamatis. Good infield defense so far. Tommy O'Hara up for the 2nd time this game. 4-pitch strikeout back in the 1st was not how he wanted to start this game off, but if there's anything he's good at, it's rebounding and learning from the first experience. You can hear the call. Ball outside on that one. Count goes to 1-0. O'Hara with 13 hits so far on the year, 5 of them for extra bases. Ball's going to miss again, bring the count to 2-0. Hitters count for Tommy O'Hara.
His first at bat, he came in ready to kill the ball. He was swinging for the fences. He's taking a bit of a step back, taking a couple pitches.
Ready to set the tone, resetting the tone in his advantage. Off-speed pitch there, will fall in for a strike. Don't think he didn't look like he was going to swing at anything, unless it was the juiciest meatball out there. Bull sped up his tempo again, delivers. Big hack's going to pop that one over the direction of the Trinity dugout. A-Rod and Reinisch both give chase, but it falls out of play, bring the count to 2-2. Definitely a better at-bat all around for the top of the jumbo lineup. More pitches taken, more time out of the game, despite the variations in rhythm from Eric Moll. Still looks supremely comfortable up there. Comes set, delivers. And that's going to be smacked into right field, and given chase by the right field is going to be tracked down and put away. Good contact, though, from Tommy O'Hara, and that was Christian Orsini making the play there. 3 up, 3 down once again. No runs, no hits, and no one left on base for the Jumbos. So cruising right along to the 5th inning. This is a quick game. Stay with us. We'll be right back with the 5th inning.
Video with Mookie Betts. He was mid-interview. They were looking at the interview, and he's like, "I'm not getting this one, boys." They need to make that a part of baseball. It's great. They did it during the All-Star game last year, and it was awesome. What? The interviews with players while they're playing. It's like having a conversation with them, distracting them. I don't think they'll do it in real games, but it'd be fun.
Jumbo baseball back for the top of the 5th inning. We've got Brendan Pierce, Alex Rodriguez, and Ben Reinisch coming up to the plate. Those are your 6, 7, 8 hitters for the Bantams. Or, excuse me. Nope, yes, that's right. Brendan Pierce, the center fielder. Pierce, the power threat in the Bantam lineup, but also a bit of a strikeout threat. Leads the team with 13 strikeouts, while Alex Rodriguez next up with 7 so far in the season. Off-speed pitch from R.J. Howell's going to miss by quite a bit for the first ball. 1-0 the count. Top of the 5th, we've reached the ostensible middle, or not the ostensible, it is the middle inning. Big swing from Reinisch is going to send this one skyward. Not really going anywhere, though, and that's going to be easily tracked down by the right fielder, Nachmanoff, for the first out of the 5th inning. Back to that cruise control pitcher's duel that we were just talking about, Alex. Not what we expected today.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the players are going to complain. They don't want to get out here and get wet, so they'll be happy to get out.
There's always enough baseball. It's either just enough or too much, I guess. I don't know how you feel about extra innings, but Hall's first pitch is going to be attacking the zone for a strike. 0-1 the count to Alex Rodriguez.
Extra innings are either very entertaining or just very boring. It's one or the other. Sometimes
Well, if
there's
you're
lots
like
of
us,
hits,
you
but
love any kind of baseball.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what. So give me those extra innings. Why not? This one's going to be corked over our heads. Quick foul brings the count to 0-2. 0-2 the count for Alex Rodriguez, who struck out his first time up. So RJ Hall's definitely going to be looking to repeat the feat, as it were. Top of the fifth. Comes set, delivers, and just barely stays alive. Gets a piece of that to lift it up and over the backstop. Count stays at 0-2. Pitch count's probably going to become something of a concern for both the pitchers at this point. Never really pitched more than 5 to 6 innings in a college game anyway. Hall and Mole both are still doing great. Hall's next pitch looked pretty good from here, but again, 0-2 the count, so probably wasn't actually all that good because you don't want a protection swing to land anything proper. Count goes to 1-2. Hall still very much in control of this at-bat. Hall's delivery up a bit high, and it seemed as though A-Rod was looking to swing, but then sort of self-protection kind of got the bat up in the way and just barely got a piece of it. So no ball for him even on that. Count stays at 1-2.
yeah, I don't think he was going for the swing there. I just think he was trying to not get hit and left the bat up.
A-Rod once again corks this one foul off to the right. And sounds like it avoided the cars, but the count stays at 1-2 for Rodriguez. Bit of a duel on this one. Count hasn't changed in a few pitches now. Hall's delivery is too low this time. You could see Rodriguez considering it. Decided wasn't quite for him though, and it's really got to have your name on it, especially this late in the count. Count is even 2-2. The pitch, corked foul again. This time into the bleachers. Not quite the bleachers, actually. Just barely missed them. But
The fans are ready, though.
fans are ready. I can see a couple gloves back in there, too. So don't think we have to worry about any injuries with the spectators right now. So usually I have my glove with me, but not today. And I just know something's going to come right at me. So on high alert today, as it were. 2-2 the count. The pitch. Smacked into right field, and that's going to be tracked by Nachmanoff. Just comes set, makes the play, 2 down in the top of the fifth. Nachmanoff being kept busy this game, in fact. Not even just this inning. He's had 3 so far, 3 plays so far, and definitely one of the just the hallmark of the Tufts team. Actually, is great defense just all around, both infield and outfield.
So far, both teams have had great defense. We haven't seen anything out of the usual.
No errors so far. Just even just period. Some really nice defensive efforts that proved successful. Hall's first pitch to Ben Reinisch, another defensive standout this game, is going to be outside for a ball. 1-0.
Although we have seen a couple acrobatic plays at first base. So.
Absolutely, as you ought to see from out of first baseman. That one's going to go high. 2-0 the count to Ben Reinisch. Reinisch struck out looking his first time up back in the second inning, which is not super characteristic of him. He has kept the strikeouts under control. We'll see what happens next. A low strike that time. I was thinking shins about that one. I don't know about you, Alex, but you know what? That is what our esteemed umpire has decided upon, and that's what we're going to go with. So 2-1 the count. Hall's next pitch is going to be slapped on the ground to O'Hara. Nice clean play, picks it up. Easy throw for the 5-3 putout, and another perfect inning for Hall. 3 up, 3 down, no hits, no runs, no one left on base for the Bantams. Stick with us. We are past halfway, and we'll be back for the bottom half of the 5th inning. Don't go anywhere. I like scoring double plays. 6-4-3, 5-4-3.
Yeah, just sounds good.
Yeah, it's like the Tinker's never switches.
We haven't seen enough base runners to have enough play. No walks though. Pitches are
A well-pitched game.
Yeah.
RJ's got this one on lock. Except,
He's been killing it. Yeah.
except we've got you-know-what brewing over there on the Trinity side. Bottom of the fifth here at Huskins Field. Trinity still up by their razor-thin margin of 1-0. Malcolm Nachmanoff, excuse me, up for the second time. Had a solid hit out to center field his first time up. A little bit too quick, though. It was a first pitch swinging kind of affair. And the Jumbos just have not been able to crack this enigma that is Eric Mole. Eric Mole spinning a beautiful gem of a game so far. He's kept the pitch count low and has stayed in command of the rhythm this entire time. First pitch, attack in the zone. Once again, strike one on Nachmanoff. Nachmanoff, one of the more powerful hitters in this Jumbo lineup. That's why he's batting fourth. He's going to slap that one on the ground towards the right side, and that'll get by the shortstop, Koperniak. Clean hit, though. No bones about that one in terms of errors, and that will be the first hit. Finally, in the fifth inning, the no-hitter being spun by Mole, broken up by Nachmanoff. First base runner, first hit, or excuse me, not the first
They
hit.
had the bunt.
They had the bunt. Which
was questionable.
Broken
hit.
up in the third inning, and I think I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt of that being an error, so that would have been a no-hitter. But still, beautiful bit of pitching so far by the Bantam pitcher Eric Mole. Nick Fox, the first baseman, had another one. Had one of those shockingly common 5-3 putouts so far. His first pitch is going to be a fastball on the outside corner, strike one. Mole not giving up on anything. He's found something that works for him, and it doesn't matter that Nachmanoff managed to beat him out on that one pitch. Attacking the zone and keeping the rhythm just where he likes it. Mole checking the runner. If anything, you can hear the chorus on that one. I would hope back home they might be able to hear the chorus with backs there. Another check. Nachmanoff this time. He's the one I was looking at when I was talking about Shackelford and O'Hara being threats to steal. No stolen bases on the year yet for Nachmanoff.
He's got a big lead though.
Which is not to say he's in a threat. Jumbo's looking to take runs however they can. Big swing from Nick Falkson is going to fall into the parking lot. The whole press box is up and making sure that no damage or injury happens on hits like that.
Oh, and Mike got the JumboCast truck.
Count goes to 0-2 for Falkson. Got to protect in this case. Nachmanoff could be looking to use the confusion to steal, as this is a tight place to do anything. Mole checks, Nachmanoff again. Not letting really anything develop in the way of leads. 0-2 the count for Falkson. Bottom of the fifth. Jumbos with their second runner of the game. That one's going to be popped up just behind the press box in that one. Alex had his hand up.
I was ready. Always ready to go.
Just got to reach a little bit more for those. Got to reach.
I've been working on my jump game, you know.
All right, I want to see you up there. 2 feet up on the next one. Falkson still with the 0-2 count, still trying to protect. Mole takes a long look at Nachmanoff. Looking back and forth. His pitch is going to be slapped on the ground to the second baseman for the 4, the 6, and not quite the 3. Good hustle from Nick Falkson. Will beat out the double play, and that's a fielder's choice to bring the first out of the inning about.
That was a bang-bang play at first base, but the umpire made a very clear and decisive call there.
definitive call, and I think the right one too. Actually,
I agree.
It looked close. It's the whole tie goes to the runner kind of a deal. It does have to be. It should be definitive. You should definitively get the guy out. It was a good defensive effort though from the Bantam infield. That was Koperniak and Cooper Mooney on the play there. Good defensive effort from the both of them.
You saw no complaint from the Trinity side either, so you have to assume they got it right.
McLaughlin stepping up to the plate on this one. Taking 2 strikes so far. Quick 0-2 on him, and Mole just keeps the pressure on. He has not let anything get by the Jumbos here. Mole comes set, delivers. In the dirt, but a really nice pick from Alex Rodriguez will keep Nick Falkson at first.
Maybe he is Pudge. Who knows?
Count goes to 1-2 for Mike McLaughlin. Mole still checking the runner. And an off-speed pitch right in there is going to punch out Mike McLaughlin. Backwards K, second out of the inning of the bottom of the 5th. It all comes down to Will Shackelford to try to make the most of this second opportunity that the Jumbos have so far.
He's 1 for 1 right now.
He is 1 for 1. He represents the other spot of Jumbo offensive output. Straight stance, kind of back in the box. He's going to slap this one right back to Mole though for the 1-3 put out. 1 pitch, and that's the inning.
He's had 2 at-bats and seen 2 pitches.
What can you say? He likes what he sees. So 1 hit, no runs, 1 man left on base, no errors in that half of the inning. We'll be right back with the top of the 6th, and the Trinity Bantams coming back up once again. We've got Stamatis, Toth, and Koperniak coming up. Don't go anywhere.
Surprising. The guy in his other 2 games, or might have had, he's had at least 2 games. He's been getting drilled. What, Mole? Yeah.
He's got a 2.89 ERA through 18 innings.
Yeah. 20 hits.
5 times. 5 walks. Yeah. Only 5. That's a 5 to 17 walk to strike. 17 to 5 to strike.
That's decent. Yeah, that's pretty good.
276 batting average. He's having a good day.
Yeah, he's definitely pitching well.
He's given up 8 extra base hits, but still, only 289 in 4 appearances. 3 games started. Safe.
Safe.
Yeah. Oh, he came in on a short rest. We're talking video game speed here at Huskins Field. Top of the 6th inning, and we are barely more than an hour into it right now. So, not well past the halfway mark, but coming up on that 2/3 mark. With the top of the order for the Bantams coming up, Johnny Stamatis, who has scored the only run so far this game. 1 for 2 on the day so far. Flew out to left field. I believe it was actually a foul out on his last at bat. RJ Hall still in the game. Nice defensive effort from O'Hara. Pops up. Quickly back, and Falkson makes the nice grab for the 5-3 putout and the first out of the 6th inning. Nicely done from O'Hara. Ought to make him feel better, especially after his lackluster day at the plate so far.
Yeah, that was a great diving stop. He got it off the short hop, too. Looked really nice.
Could have been something akin to an infield hit, but instead we are 1 away in the top of the 6th. 1 pitch, 1 down. RJ Hall has not relinquished command of this game after the 1st inning. His pitch, low. Frickman asks for a second opinion, but there was nothing going there. 1-0 the count.
Seemed pretty clear from this side that he held up.
Hall Comes set, delivers. That's one smacked up the middle, and a good effort from Elias Varinas is not going to be enough. Clean single for Matt Toth on that one. Quick at bats. Jumbos will be looking to turn the double play here. First opportunity since the first inning, in fact. It's been 3 up, 3 down. It had been 3 up, 3 down for 4 innings in a row there. That was a 13 straight batters retiring.
That's a good stat. You want to see that.
Definitely like that consecutive batters.
It'll make the coaches happy.
Quick check, genuine check there on that one. That's the
yeah. He really thought he had a chance there.
Put the oomph behind it, as we mentioned earlier. Top of the 6th, 1 away. Toth the runner. Another check on Toth. No good again. Trinity Bantams leading the Tufts Jumbos at Huskins Field, 1-0. In this very rapid game, although RJ Hall has done his best to slow it down a bit. Way high. Koperniak kind of shakes his head out of the way. 1-0 the count.
We might have seen the most pickoff attempts per base runners ever.
I would believe that, actually. We've had a grand total of 4 and a good 5 or 6 pickoff attempts per runner. Swing and a miss from Koperniak, and a great decision from Toth on which pitch to take in terms of an opportunity. Off speed.
The throw in the second was high, too.
Does bring the count to 1-1, but now Toth, speedy runner, is in scoring position. Toth with his 2nd stolen base of the year. 1-1 the count, top of the 6th. Bantams with their best opportunity since the first inning. Koperniak didn't like it, but our esteemed umpire did, calling it strike 2 to bring the count to 1-2.
That was framed very nicely there by the catcher. He held it the extra second there, really making sure that the ump saw that.
Definitely a new skill that's becoming quintessential for the catcher. Catcher of today has got to be able to frame the pitches. So that one swung on and tapped up the middle. Easy play for Shackelford to make that 6-3 put out, but it advances the runner over to 3rd. Toth takes it all the way, is within 90 feet of scoring with 2 outs here in the 6th. Oh, excuse me. I have been off by a single batter this entire time. Orsini had the nice defensive effort from O'Hara. That is Stamatis, who has now 2 for 3 and on 3rd with the stolen base. 2 stolen bases on the day so far for him, so that's 5 stolen bases. And Toth, who sacrificed him over for the 6-3 putout. Koperniak now up, trying to bring him over. 0-1 the count. RJ Hall's delivery. In the dirt, that's going to squirt away from Frickman, and an easy run for Stamatis, who scores the 2nd run of the game on the wild pitch.
It's been the first.
Would you pass ball or wild pitch?
I think that was a wild pitch. It was in the dirt. Oh,
that'll be a pat. We are getting confirmation from the booth that was a passed ball, and will be given to Frickman. So, just like that, Bantams double their lead with defensive laps from Frickman. 1-1 the count, though.
It's been the first defensive laps we've seen all day from either team.
Absolutely. The first error, I guess you could call it. Time to reset, though. Hall right back inside to bring the count to 1-2. Hall comes set, delivers, and swing and a miss is going to strike out Koperniak for the 3rd out of the 6th. So that's 1 run on 1 hit with no one left on base for the Bantams, excuse me. And really just an unfortunate sort of collection of small things. It's small ball. This is a small ball game. You're going to win it in a small ball way, by golly. That's a single, a stolen base, fielder's choice, and then pass ball. So nothing really
nothing remarkable.
nothing really got that far out of the infield, and so still very close game though. So we'll be right back with the bottom of the 6th inning.
Let's go now, Case. Let's go. Come on now, boy. Come on, Case. Hey, Case. Hey, Case. What do you say, Case, babe? Come on, Case. Come on, Case. Come on, Case. Come on, Case. Okay, what do you say now, 4? Come on, Steph. Come on, Steph. Come on, 2-5. Come on, let's go. Come on, come on, come on. Hey, stay back, E. Let's go. Come on, E. Come on, E. Get it started. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come on, 2-5.
2-5. And Day. We got a Schnepp or Day? Schnepp, thank you.
Attention, please, leading off for the Jumbos in the bottom of the 6th inning, pinch hitting for Harrison Frickman, number 25, Eric Schnepp.
And we've got a pinch hitter in for the Jumbos, number 25, Eric Schnepp, coming in for Harrison Frickman. Hopefully not as a punishment for the pass ball in that last inning. Quick 0-2 is going to come up for Schnepp, though.
I still don't think the pass ball was his fault. It was in the dirt. Tough one to stop.
Tough one to stop, but still credited to the catcher and an unearned run for R.J. Hall on that one. Mole comes set, delivers. That will be smacked on the ground. Right back to Mole, though. 1-3 put out, 1 down in the bottom of the 6th. Santos Ocampo back up. Casey Santos Ocampo struck out in his first time around on 3 pitches, in fact. So trying to learn a little bit more here than he did in the last at-bat. In the dirt, 1-0 for the count to Santos Ocampo.
This is only his 2nd at bat in the game. We're in the 6th inning.
The Jumbos have not had a lot of success so far against Mole. 1-1 the count to Santos Ocampo. A high pitch. Second opinion was asked and get awarded to the Bantams on that one. It looked like he went from here. The one good thing about this angle, only for right-handed hitters, we can see whether or not they went. I could draw a straight line right from my line of view to the edge of the plate. And he went on that one, so sorry.
Definitely did go around.
Sorry, Santos Ocampo fans. 1-2 the count. Fourth pitch is corked up into right field, tracked by the second baseman, taken in by the second baseman, Cooper Mooney. A little bit of a collision, though, between him and the right fielder, Christian Orsini, but that'll be it's 2 down in the bottom of the 6th.
Looked to me like Orsini called him off there, but didn't seem to listen to the communication going on.
Elias Varinos, 0 for 2 on the day so far, both with 5-3 putouts, so he's grounded out to Reinish, the third baseman, twice so far. Don't want to make it a golden 5-3 putout. 1-0 the count as the first pitch bounces into the dirt.
You're just ready to hit the ball. It's just been early on it, that's all.
Patience and hopefully a little bit more bat control. That one's smacked in. Definitely a little more bat control as it corks to the right side, but that'll be tracked all the way down by Christian Orsini. Really nice long play for that, and that will be it for the Jumbos. 3 up, 3 down, no runs, no hits, no one left on base in the 6th, and the score is still Trinity 2, Tufts 0. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Bantams, 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. For the Tufts University Jumbos, no runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. Scheduled to bat for Trinity in the top of the 7th inning, Matt Gallouder, Cooper Mooney, and Brendan Pierce. And a defensive change for the Jumbos as we head to the top of the 7th inning. The new catcher staying in the game after pinch hitting, number 25, Eric Schnepp.
Yeah, Knight's in center field now.
And Schnepp is in at catcher, right?
Yeah. And Knight was warming in the pen before he went out there.
No, Knight's in center field now.
He's in center field, but he was thrown in the bullpen before.
Yeah,
He might have just been warming up.
Yeah, just for not pitching. So. Couple of defensive change for the Jumbos here in the top of the 7th inning. We've got Schnepp has now come into the game fully with taking over Frickman's catching duties behind the dish. And in center field, Santos Ocampo has been replaced by J.P. Knight. J.P. Knight out patrolling the long distance between the foul pole lines way out in the alleys. 4, 5, and 6 for the Bantams in this part of the inning. Mac Louder, the designated hitter, to start things off. Hall still in. His first pitch is going to be at the shins, I guess, and a little bit too low this time around for the umpire. 1-0 the count.
That pitch has been a strike all day. We were surprised to see that one go low.
Louder 0 for 2 with 2 flyouts so far. Second pitch is going to be smacked into left field. Solid line drive past Shackelford's head for a base hit. And hit. Second pitch swinging yields a bit of fruit finally in the 7th inning. Cooper Mooney, the second baseman, made a couple of nice plays last inning. He is 0 for 2 so far in the day with a couple of flyouts also. And a pitch running change for Mac Louder. We've got number 14, Jeffrey Stillman for the Bantams.
And he's got an egregiously large lead right now.
Probably a bit faster than Mac Louder was, and so definitely a threat to steal at this point, which I think it's a whole case of they know, he knows, and he knows, they knows, and the whole chain of that. So mind games until something actually happens. Hall's first pitch to Mooney is going to be low.
That would have been the one to go on.
I can remember a Giants player back in the day. By back in the day, I mean like 2010 or something, named Darren Ford, exclusively pinch runner. Just human bullet. Just couldn't hit, he could actually field pretty well, but 8th inning, if he needed a run, someone got on base, he was coming in to pinch run.
For me, the name that comes to mind is Dave Roberts. He's known for stealing a certain base in 2004.
Of course, for you Red Sox fans.
Very important base.
Now managing the dumbest team in the majors, if I had to make an opinion about it. Second pitch is going to find the strike zone there, even the count at 1-1. Cooper Mooney now actually has taken the most pitches of any at-bat he's had so far, with 2. So a little bit more patience his third time around. Off-speed pitch will be in there for a strike. 1-2 the count. Not really anything egregious from Stillman ever since that first time up and around. A fair lead, I'd say. It's tough for a righty like R.J. Hall to get that quick snap around on the pickoff moves. Gives him a long look.
He's a full step closer now than he was at the beginning of his time at first base.
And that's what I heard a couple of Major League pitchers say. Never throw it, just look at them. Just try to get inside their heads, except for now, when he actually does throw it back. So
He's trying to get moving the wrong way.
You've got to make it your thing, I think, if you really want to try to sell the look game. Hall's had a pretty good game so far. Only the one earned run that he's given up. That next pitch is going to be smacked into the gap, and Nachmanoff is going to chase it down, but that'll be tracked first by Knight. Long hit. That's going to be, first run is going to be waved home, and Stillman, good choice of pinch running by the Bantams coach there, will come all the way around from first and score there. Jeffrey Stillman all the way around to score the third run of the game so far, and a solid double from Cooper Mooney brings around the third RBI of the game. 3-0 to the Bantams.
The 2 big hits of this game have gone out to that 379 marker out there in right center.
Definitely not the kind of day for booming home runs or anything. We've seen days like that when the wind's just howling out to the outfield.
Yeah, right now there's a soft breeze out there, but it's not strong at all.
It's still. It feels still. The air feels kind of thick after that rainstorm. So Bantams doing their best to pad their lead as much as possible here in the 7th. Still no outs yet for Hall in the 7th inning. And I guess I would have thought that Coach Casey would have taken Hall out by this point, but nothing doing yet, and still no one that I can see in the bullpen. So Hall looks to be in this for the long haul. This one's popped up to the, oh, is that coming to us? That is close. That was right on top of the press box, and we both had our hands up. If no reason for the camera to swing around and look at a no-nothing thing like that. This is, I have a ball now. This is not the ball that was coming, but still fun to watch those nonetheless. 0-1 the count to Brendan Pierce.
It's been a long time since I've caught a foul ball. I was getting excited.
The power threat of this Bantams lineup. Home run leader, but also the strikeout leader. So he's known for those big hacks in the Bantam lineup. One and one the count. Top of the 7th. Runner on second. That's Cooper Mooney after his big double to drive in the third run of the game for the Bantams. Hall delivers. That's going to be tapped foul along the third base side. Count goes to 1-2 for Brendan Pierce.
How the Giants do in their opening day game?
Oh, funny you should ask that. A little-known guy named Ty Block stepped up and out-dueled someone you might have heard of. I don't know, Clayton Kershaw, if that name rings any bells. But Joe Panik had a solo home run and took it home for opening day. That one's going to be smacked deep into left field. McLaughlin's not going to be able to get there. That's going to go all the way to the wall. Mooney will score easily from second, and that's a stand-up double for Brendan Pierce, and the third hit in a row in the top half of the 7th inning for the Bantams. 4-0 Trinity. So focusing on more happier memories, yes, the Giants won their opening day game against the Dodgers. Ty Block with 5 shutout innings against the Dodgers. And Joe Panik with that solo shot to take things home. So that's all I need. I'm good for the rest of the year. I have no expectations whatsoever. It's a lie, but that's okay.
It's an odd year. It's an even year, rather, so they have to win.
Absolutely. How about the Red Sox? How'd they do?
The Red Sox looked great through 7. Sale had 7 great innings, and then the bullpen showed they were in midseason form and walked 4 batters in a row in the 8th inning. So
excellent. You gotta love it.
They ended up dropping their first game. I think it was 6-4 to the Rays.
R.J. Hall's first pitch to Alex Rodriguez is outside for a ball. 1-0 the count. Hall, unfortunately, seems to have lost control. 3 solid contacts in a row. And that's going to be picked. That was Brendan Pierce taking a bit too generous of a lead. And R.J. Hall with the crisp maneuver. Shackelford covering nicely. Picked him off nice and cleanly.
Now we can take a nice break, get back into the
take a break,
wind-up.
Reset, get back to the windup. Comes set, delivers through the windup. High, which is a
Late
fair
strike.
judgment considering how things have gone. 1-1 the count. Hall delivers. Outside, I would guess, from this vantage point. 2-1 the count. Alex Rodriguez has demonstrated patience. A long strikeout in the first inning and a protracted battle that ended up with a fly out to the right fielder, Knockman off his second time around. Held up that time, but in there for a strike from R.J. Hall. Evens the count at 2-2.
Rodriguez has his feet very far apart in the batter's box.
Almost a closed stance, too. No swing. Appears to have held up.
I don't know about that. From here, it looks like he won around.
Well, ours is not the opinion that matters, unfortunately.
That is true.
Everything that happens. So, Hall with the 3-2 count up against Alex Rodriguez. Top of the 7th inning. 3 4-0 in favor of the Bantams. The pitch sharply tapped foul into the Jumbo bullpen. Count remains at 3-2. RJ's really taking this workload by the horns right now. Pitch deep into this game. And a rough 7th inning is the only serious blemish on his record so far. That one's going to be low and outside for ball 4. And the first walk of this game, which not really surprising given the, I don't want to say lack of plate discipline, because God knows I couldn't hit any of these pitches going on right now, but definitely enthusiasm at the plate, I think we can call it.
They're just ready to swing. You're not at the plate to stare there. You're there to swing.
Exactly. Exactly. First walk of the game is going to bring up Ben Reinish, the defensive standout from third base, who's struck out and grounded out to third so far. Seems as though this is the inning for Trinity to pick things up, though. Reinish steps out, doesn't like the rhythm that Hall's trying to set up. Steps out, takes a breather. Far back in the box. Trinity seems to like to set up as far back as possible. He goes there. Yeah. I think it was pretty clear from all the angles that he went on that one. 0-1 the count for Reinish. A couple of folks still in the Tufts bullpen, so we're not entirely without, or rather, Hall is not entirely without support. And a pickoff is going to turn into a rundown situation, but Falkson's going to dive and tag out Rodriguez for the second out of the inning. Really good pickoff motion from Hall there.
The Jumbos are yet to record an out by normal methods so far. They've only had 2 pickoffs in this inning.
That's true, in fact.
They haven't
Pickoff at
retired
second and pickoff at first, so.
They haven't retired a batter, but hey, if they got the runners
Hall's
off the
inning
base.
for sure. I mean, doesn't really matter how you get them, right?
They all count.
That's a strike. Off-speed pitch catches Ben Reinish unawares. 0-2 the count. It's probably Hall's last inning of work so far. His delivery, going to be low that time. 1-2 the count. Even considering the low zone we've got, I think that was pretty obviously not there.
Yeah, not quite. Both these teams have a doubleheader tomorrow, so it's really nice.
Against each other. So.
Yeah, well, that's obvious.
Swing and a miss from Reinish is going to end the inning there.
But both these.
Finally, the first batter retired by Hall in the 7th. In the top of the 7th, it's going to be 2 runs on 3 hits, no jumbo errors, and 1 left on base. 2 pickoffs. 7th inning stretch here at Huskins Field. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with the Tufts batters at the bottom of the 7th. And we're back for the bottom of the 7th inning here at Huskins Field. Ryan Dawes, designated hitter to start things off for the Jumbos. Crunch time for the Jumbo batters. We are last 3 innings for the opportunity to catch back up to the Bantams, who have finally opened up a bit of a lead. 4-0. Off-speed pitch is going to miss a little bit wide, 2-0. Exactly the kind of count a hitter like Dawes is going to be looking for. Dawes hitting .333 coming into this game. Mole delivers. Fastball down at the knees for a strike. 2-1 the count. Dawes with 7 RBIs so far. On-base percentage almost 500. Off-speed pitch is going to miss low, bring the count to 3-1. Mole's still cruising, though. Doesn't really matter how each batter's going for it. Fact remains that Tufts has been blanked through 6 innings, which is no mean feat. Next pitch is going to be scorched foul into the Trinity dugout. Full count for Ryan Dawes in the top of the 7th.
Heads up play by the Trinity coach there. Quick hands.
Comes with the territory. You live around baseball that long. It doesn't matter where you are or what you're doing. You can make plays. Mole delivers. Low for a ball 4 and the first walk of the game for Mole. Not a bad at bat though. I think it was just a guess in terms of being a little more aggressive, which was a fair assumption. It's 2 ground outs to start things off for Daw. And now we've got Tommy O'Hara. Meat of the order, 3, 4, and 5 on their way up. So good way for Dawes to start the inning off.
He definitely knew he had to get on base there. He was very happy to take a walk.
Mole with a first pickoff attempt. Hasn't been successful yet this game with the pickoff attempts. Shackelford was caught stealing in the 3rd inning.
That was more or less a pickoff. That was a rundown.
I suppose so. That's a good point. It's what looks to be the 4th straight ball there. Went from being in control of Dawes' at-bat to now being behind the count with Tommy O'Hara and the business end of the Tufts lineup staring him down in short order. Mole back in the stretch. Gives a long look back to Dawes. Delivers. That was high. Probably a bit outside, too. O'Hara really wasn't that into it. Count goes to 2-0.
I think I'm definitely taking a pitch here if I'm O'Hara. Can't be swinging after a bunch of straight balls.
No, sir. Especially not after a strikeout and a fly ball to end things up. And indeed, you are correct.
He wanted to swing at it, too.
He wanted to swing, but his discipline won out, and that's probably some of the best discipline you're going to see on the team right now. 2-1. O'Hara's going to be looking for something good. Well, nothing doing on that one.
No one was surprised by that pickoff attempt.
Just a couple weeks ago, I went to a college baseball game in Florida. Fantastic field and everything. Guy had 4 pickoff attempts in a row.
4?
Big swing and a miss from O'Hara. Evens the count at 2-2.
I hope the guy took off a second after that.
4 in a row before even pitching once to the guy. It was much.
Should not be allowed.
Yeah. Certain number of pickoff attempts per inning. You have to make it easier to actually pick someone off, though, if you're going to do that. Mole comes set. Lots of looks. Delivers. That one's low, and more really good discipline from O'Hara, the batter, on that one. You could almost see the impulse to start. And watch that impulse on the next one. On the next pitch, even if regardless of whether he swings or not, you're probably going to see an impulse, especially because the count is 3-2. O'Hara, you don't get to be one of the best hitters on the Jumbos without taking a lot of hacks.
I think he fouls off this next pitch, no matter what.
Or a lot of swings, a lot of hacks, whatever you want to call it. You're going to see that first impulse from the hips and the right foot of O'Hara. So we'll have our cameramen do their best to try to highlight that right foot or the right sort of half of the body. But regardless of what actually happens, you're going to see a bit of an impulse because of the count. You just have to start the momentum even before the pitcher lets go of the ball, because if you wait long, if you wait too long, it's never going to happen. You're never going to be able to catch up. And with college pitchers these days throwing in the low 80s to low 90s, you just have to start early. There was that impulse and smacked into center field for a base hit. Clean hit, and that gets by the center fielder. That's going to roll almost all the way to the wall. Tommy O'Hara is going to roll into third, slide in easily, And that's going to be a true. I'm going to call that a double, actually. That was
it's a double and an error on the center fielder.
Yeah, double for O'Hara, followed by an error for the center fielder, Brennan Pierce. Really costly error there, as that gave Ryan Dawes the opportunity to score all the way from first. But I'm still going to use the words of one of my favorite, just pop culture references. Just, oh, baby, a triple. Oh, baby, a triple indeed for Tommy O'Hara. All the way to third. And that's two batters so far, no outs, and still the business end of the of the order. Cleanup hitter Malcolm Nachmanoff.
I think we'll give him the RBI there too.
Absolutely the RBI, because he would have scored regardless of whether or not the play had been made. Mole's first pitch was a strike. His second delivery is going to be smacked on the ground to third. Fair ball. And a choke. Surprising defensive lapse from Reinisch is just not going to go anywhere. He holds onto the ball. Doesn't even try to make the play at first for Nachmanoff.
I think he ate the ball there. I think he was just taking a breather. He saw that he wasn't going to get the throw, and so he just made the smart decision to launch it.
Fair enough, and I'm gonna make a joke here. See if you pick up on it. Nachmanoff's third. Rachmaninoff's third. Yeah, see, there it is. Nachmanoff's third at bat. Nachmanoff's third at bat is more success, and Jumbos have halved the lead here. Quick throw from Mole. Tries to get Nachmanoff on first. 3 batters so far. None have been retired yet by Mole. Mole's blanked efforts are for naught, as it appears the 7th inning was the barrier for both teams, the barrier to get through for both teams. 0-1 the count to Nick Falkson, the first baseman. That last pitch was a strike from Mole. Still attacking the zone, but the batters have now started to pick up the line on Mole's pitches. Mole, with a lot of looks, delivers. And this one smacked down into the hole. 4-6, and another good hustle from Falkson. The exact same thing, in fact. Nachmanoff had the single beforehand, Jack, in the 5th inning, and the fielder's choice from Nick Falkson brings about the first out of the inning, but avoids disaster with the avoided double play.
First baseman there was pretty bummed. He had a really nice pick and was hoping he'd get the call there.
It was a good pick, just wasn't quite fast enough. McLaughlin fouls that one off the shoulder pad of the catcher. Umpire takes a quick check, but it's a day in the life for a catcher. I was a catcher in Little League, and a lot of those ones, sometimes the ones that don't seem bad are the ones where you have to sit back and say, whew, I need a second to take a breath, and others you just shake it off and keep going. Alex Rodriguez seems to have done the latter. Nice charging play from the second baseman, Cooper Mooney. Second out, another fielder's choice, but Nick Falkson advances to second base, scoring position. Will Shackelford, the shortstop, up here. He had the first hit of the game, although it was, I think, Alex, you would agree, was a bit of a cop-out with the bunt down the third base line that ended with a collision between the pitcher and the catcher. So a 1-3 put out for the next one puts him at 1 for 2 on the day.
It was a great bunt, though.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Fantastic bunt, but had the collision not happened, I think he probably would have been out. But it happened, and you got to call that a hit. So 2 down here in the bottom of the 7th. Jumbos have scored 2 and have the lead back down to 2. That one was low to Will Shackelford. Count is 1-0. Falkson taking his lead off of second. That's the second baseman, Mooney, looking to keep him honest. Mole threatens. In any other situation, I would say the distraction of always looking is bad, but can't argue with results, and Mole's been pitching a fantastic game so far. Off-speed pitch kind of misses there. Don't know where it missed, if I'm being perfectly honest.
That looked good.
Shackelford is not complaining, though, as his count goes to 2-0. Falkson with his lead. Not a lot. Mooney back to the hole. The pitch squirts out of Rodriguez's glove. Misses a zone, though. 3-0 for Shackelford. So 3-0 here with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position. Do you give the green light to swing?
Oh, I think he swings.
All right, here's the pitch.
He was not swinging.
No, sir. Nothing doing at all. Doesn't matter if that was a T-ball batting practice pitch. Falls in for a strike. And, you know, with the open base, it makes sense. He's probably, I wouldn't be shocked if he held off on this one, too. What can I tell you? 3-2 the count, though, as Mole manages to find the zone once again. Full count, 2 outs, bottom of the 7th. Falkson will be taken off from second, no matter what. The pitch. That one's popped into right. Tracked down, and it's going to fall in front of the right fielder, Orsini. Easy score from Falkson, and that will be a stand-up double for Shackelford. Jumbos have brought it back to within 1.
7th inning has been a big inning for both teams here. It's been sort of the tipping point in this game.
Which is kind of interesting because, and this could be just because of the bias that I have from watching so many professional games, but I feel like before this point, people would have been taken out because people were cruising, people were fine until all of a sudden 3 hits in a row. And if we look at Hall's performance during the 7th inning, same thing. Tying run is in scoring position now. We've got a new batter in Schnepp.
I think that you're seeing the pitchers go a little bit longer because they each have 2 games tomorrow against each other. So they got to preserve the relievers
bullpen.
a little bit.
It's a good point and something I had not thought of. So thank you for reminding me of that. Off-speed pitch is going to find the strike zone there, even the count at 1-1. Schnepp grounded out to Mole in his last at-bat, which was just last inning. Didn't have a runner in scoring position, though, so a bit more pressure on this one. Inside, you could see Schnepp kind of jump away. It's that kind of just almost like an I surrender jump, a little bit of a slide backwards.
He's acting it out, even though you can't see that.
Well, what can I say? I monkey see, monkey do. I see him do it. Maybe we can get a camera on us in between innings. I can show you what I mean. But another ball in the dirt brings the count to 3-1 for Schnepp. Mole seems to have lost the thread a little bit. He's got to come back to the zone, which means I could see you could almost see a swing. I was going to say you could see a swing coming, but then above the shoulders.
I was also expecting a fastball there, and that seemed to come in pretty slow.
Above the shoulders pitch is going to be an easy take, and quite frankly, I'm not that surprised when it comes to that with the open base. And with the open base right there, you want to be able to just leave it.
And I think that's the end of the day here.
Is it time? Stick a fork in him. He's done. Yes, indeed. Nice crispy, or a nice juicy prime rib, I guess we can say that. 350 degrees for what?
It took a long time for it to bake, you know?
2 hours? Yeah, we're just about 2 hours in right now. So a great effort from the pitcher Eric Mold there. Perfect through, 2. It's
More
weird
or less,
because
yeah.
he faced the minimum through 6 is actually the real thing to point out. 18 batters faced, 18 batters retired. Not necessarily in that order. It wasn't always 3 up, 3 down, but he did retire 14 of those consecutively. And the new pitcher for the Bantams is going to be number 24. Andrew DeRoche. DeRoche with 6 appearances so far on the year. No games started, so he's fulfilling his role as what old-timers would call firemen. They're here to put out the sparks and hopefully close things out. And he's definitely got the range as he's pitched almost 10 innings so far in the year, but it's been shaky. I hate to say it, but can't really call it anything else with a 7.45 ERA.
He doesn't appear to be thrown particularly hard here in his warm-ups.
Only 1 loss, so can't really accredit too much damage to him if you know.
Well, if he's the fireman, he's already coming in when they're behind.
That's the problem. He's going to inherit a lot of stuff, but he's held opponents to a .231 batting average and has already struck out 6 so far in the season. So 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th. He's got to. He honestly just needs an out. It doesn't really matter how to get it. There's a number of ways to get it. And another pinch hitter for the Santos Ocampos, or rather not a pinch hitter, but a pinch hitter for the defensive substitution. You've got John Michella, one of the offensive standouts for the Jumbos, stepping in on this one. Michella's hitting .400 on the year with a .424 on base percentage. First pitch swinging was a strike.
And he was ready to hit it. He wanted to send that to Somerville from here.
He wants to be the hero here. He's regained his patience, though, as he honestly needs to in situations like this, and is able to even the count at 1-1. DeRoche takes a long look, not worrying too much about the runners, focused on the batter as he needs to be. Big sort of windmill effect. You can see even from here how tall DeRoche is, and that motion is sort of straight arm, and he just whips it around almost like a scoop. But he can get some really nice movement there.
He's super tall.
Takes the count to 1-2. DeRoche finds his pitch, takes a look, the pitch. That's going to be corked foul, probably out of play. Reinisch doesn't even bother giving chase. Bit too far there. Count stays at 1-2. 2 men on for the Jumbos here. They scored 3 runs and brought the lead back to within 1. DeRoche looking to put the fire out. 1-2 the count to Michella. And good discipline there. You can see Michella wanted to do something with it, but as it bounced in the dirt, he held off. Count goes to 2-2. Michella digs in. DeRoche looking for his pitch. Schnepp on first, Shackelford on second. The pitch is going to be corked foul once again. Another solid battle going on.
That one lands over by the softball field where, if I can see the score correctly, I think it's 1-0 right now with the Jumbos trailing.
In other news, the Jumbos softball team is in the bottom of the 5th inning, it looks like, 1-0 in favor of the visitors. The pitch from DeRoche looked good from here, but imperfect viewpoint doesn't mean anything, and the count goes full, 3-2. One of those tough. These were the situations you waited for. Down by a run, 2 men on, 2 outs, late in the game, full count. What's it going to be? DeRoche delays the inevitable, takes his foot off, and has a look to see how the other runners are doing. Shackelford on second, Schnepp on first. The pitch, swing and a miss from Michella. He is not happy with himself, but at least it was a forwards K. Got to look for those silver linings where you can find them. And that was, gosh, I got to count these up. 1, 2, 3. 3 hits, or 3 runs on 3 hits, and 2 men left on base. No errors from the Trinity Bantams. It is now 4-3 in favor of Trinity, and we have ourselves a ball game once again. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with the top of the 8th inning. Welcome back to Huskins Field for our 8th inning NESCAC baseball action. Another defensive change for the Jumbos. Justin Mills has taken over center field patrolling duties out there for more defensive purposes.
The wind has picked up here as well at Huskins Field.
Wind has picked up and has gotten definitively chilly. I was in shirt sleeves for most of that, but I have retreated to the warmth of my fleece. So it's not quite spring yet, or rather it is spring, but it's not the kind of spring that we like to see out in New England. So RJ Hall still out on the bump for the Jumbos. Going to try to keep it within one. And that first pitch is going to hit Orsini. Orsini will take his base very quickly.
That wind is very strong now, blowing out to left field.
I mean, at least he didn't waste time with that HBP. You know, what can you say? Orsini now on first in this tight game. Top of the 8th inning. First baseman Johnny Stamatis steps up to the plate. He's had himself a game so far. Scored 2 of the 4 runs so far. 2 for 3 on the day with 2 singles and a fly out to left field.
There is some action in the Jumbo's pen. Can't quite tell who it is, though.
Quick action from Hall is unsuccessful to get Orsini. Long look from Hall once again. Another quick move from not Stamatis but Hall, who will send Orsini scurrying back to the plate. No count yet. 2 pickoff attempts so far. Hall in the stretch right now. The pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 1 from Stamatis. Stamatis, I think, looking to keep up the what he's got going in terms of having Hall's number. 2 for 3 is a good day so far. He wants to keep that up, especially with a runner already on first.
He also wants to carry that momentum from the last 2 innings to keep the runs on the board.
Decent lead. Hall takes a look, just to be sure. The pitch. Falls low, evens the count 1-1. Hall getting encouragement from his teammates in the Jumbo dugout. Appears to have the nickname Dicky. Could have something to do with R.A. Dickey, a knuckleball pitcher from the earlier part of the decade. Another quick pickoff move, unsuccessful, in keeping with this theme of the most pickoff attempts per runner we've ever seen in a game.
R.A. Dickey is probably my second favorite knuckleballer ever.
Who's your first?
Oh, Tim Wakefield, of course.
The
local boy.
God, for why would I even ask that question? Of a Red Sox fan, no less.
R.A. Dickey threw way harder, though. He averaged like an 85-mile-an-hour fastball, and Wakefield I don't think could throw more than 70.
Well, why do you need to?
Oh, not when you're throwing knuckleballs 90% of the time. You don't even know where the ball's going. It's the best part.
I wouldn't call R.J. Hall a knuckleballer, though.
Not quite.
He's got some off-speed stuff, as exhibited right there. And it would say that had the unpredictability of a knuckleball, I guess you could call it, but definitely not his bread and butter, as it were. 2-1 the count to Johnny Stamatis.
Right around the time when pitchers started to throw anything besides fastballs, right around the time when I stopped playing baseball. It's time to call it quits at that point.
Fair enough. When I was in Little League, there was one kid who actually could throw a curveball. And
A 40-foot man?
no. Hall comes set. Delivers. Swung on and tapped foul off his foot, or close to his foot. No, he was on my team, and he could throw a legit, something off speed. It was like a slurve or some kind of changeup or whatever. It was his off speed pitch that he could actually get over the plate. And he'd make a big show of he'd have these tells where he would actually make it seem like he was going to throw the curve, and then you'd hear him say, "Oh, he's going to throw the curve," and he'd just blaze a fastball right by you, and just that'd be the end of it. Another pickoff attempt from Hall, unsuccessful. And he was smart. He doesn't play baseball anymore, but he could play mind games with the other with the 12-year-olds. I mean, big whoop. But as a 12-year-old playing mind games on other 12-year-olds, it was fun to see.
He should pick up poker.
He should, absolutely. Hall's next delivery. Outside would be my guess. Count goes full on that one. 3-2. And in a quick update on other NESCAC action, Jumbos have taken the lead across the way in the softball game. Jumbo softball, Tufts leads 3-1 going into the top, or probably still in the bottom of the 5th. Hall, another pickoff attempt.
That's now the 7th pickoff attempt here.
Right, 7? Have you been keeping track?
It's at least 4. I haven't actually been keeping track, but it seems like that's been 7 or 8.
We'll say 4, just to give them the benefit of the doubt. I mean, I get it. You have to keep people honest, but good Lord, this is a lot of pickoff attempts. Hall's pitch. Ball 4. So
I thought that was a good pitch.
It seems as though the pickoff attempts were warranted because Orsini took off running on that last one. But
It was a 3-2 count, though.
it was a walk, and it didn't matter. And the first 2 batters for the Bantams have made it on base here in the 8th inning. No sign of Coach Casey from the dugout here as of yet. Another small conference. This time it's Shackelford, Schnepf, and Hall. Need something on contact, though. Hall definitely needs something resembling a double play, preferably a triple play, but those don't really come around that much. So something on the ground that his defense can gobble up and take care of for him.
We've seen ground balls to third base the whole time.
Back to the pickoff attempts, which helped out last inning. You get 2 or 3 outs by pickoff attempts. Maybe you stick with it. So far, though, his defense has not really let him down that much, and especially not this inning. It's been a hit by pitch and a walk, so nothing left for the defense to do. Toth corks this one foul behind the third baseline, kind of before it got to the press box. 0-1 the count. And this kind of fatigue is interesting because it's a muscle fatigue, and you still have to hit a very small target. The pitcher has pitchers have a tough task to do, especially when you get tired like this. This kind of tired is different. Slapped on the ground. Nice play by O'Hara. Is only going to have the play at first, and that gets away from Nick Falkson. Bad throw from O'Hara is going to allow the Bantams to score one. Runner from first advances all the way around to third. That was Orsini who scored. Stamatis to third, and Toth makes it safe on the error. So have to unfortunately call that E5 on a good effort from O'Hara to keep the ball in the infield and probably prevented a second run from scoring, but should have had the first out at first and no runs scored. So
That was a tough ball to try to play from first base.
well, it's just a tough sequence of events that you have to try to get through. You have to dive for it.
It was a good play to
Figure
stop
out
the ball.
yourself on the ground, step up, grab the ball in a good way. Hall's first pitch to Koperniak is a strike, back to attack in the zone. And then the most difficult part, I would say, is getting the ball from your glove to your throwing hand. And if I had a camera on me, I could show it, but into a four-seam grip that you can actually whip over to the first baseman. And after years and years and years of transferring pickoff check from Hall, is just to sort of keep him honest. After years and years and years of transferring the ball from your glove to your throwing hand, you can actually, first time without even looking at it, get a strong grip, a strong four-seam grip, and be able to whip it over. But sometimes it just doesn't work. This one's poked on the ground, back to O'Hara. Goes home, and that's going to be in time for the play. Really good heads-up play from O'Hara to keep the Bantams from scoring again. So that's a fielder's choice for Koperniak. Not really the smartest play from, who was it? Stamatis. Ball grounded to the right side. Or rather to the third baseman, and you're on third. You kind of need a large lead and really good wheels. So that was.
It was a good slide though. He almost avoided the tag. He tried to do one of those swim moves around the catcher.
A good effort, but he had the ball. But Schneff had the ball in time, so there wasn't really anywhere for him to go. Hall attacking the zone once again, brings the count to 0-1.
And you can no longer truck the catcher in Division III.
Correct. Not in college ball. Hall, long look back to second. One away in the top of the 8th. Ball outside on that one, evens the count at 1-1. No hits actually given up yet in this inning. Hall kind of dug himself the hole with a hit by pitch and then a walk. And then it was an error for O'Hara and a fielder's choice to get him out of the serious hole. Big swing and a miss from Lauder is going to bring the count to 1-2. Hall taking his time, still in the stretch. Long look back to second. And Toth. Making sure Toth isn't really taking more than he can. Hall's pitch outside again, evens the count at 2-2. can see the accuracy is starting to degrade a little bit. And it's weird because you can hear these guys all saying, dig deep, you know, work through it. Yeah, it's an endurance thing. Yes, you got to work through it, but it's mental. It's weirdly mental and physical at the same time. That fastball is going to be just barely tipped back to the backstop. Cat stays at 2-2. Excuse me, I said this was Lauder. It's actually Stillman, Jeffrey Stillman in the DH spot, who singled and scored in his last at-bat, the 7th inning. Hall checks Toth. The pitch. Low and outside on that one. Good stop by Schneff, but that takes the count full with 1 out. 1 out and 2 men on. Still not a whole lot of action for the defense yet. Some looks. Nothing serious, though, as infield is staying at double play depth, and a big swing and a miss for Stillman will make it strike 3, 2 down here in the 8th.
That's a big strikeout.
Big strikeout.
Got to feel good.
Hall.
Strike at the DH when you're exhausted.
Yep. Clutch strikeout, although if anything, this is a scenario where you really want to have a double play ground ball double play to end the inning.
That's true.
But take the outs wherever you can get them, and a strikeout's got to feel good for the mojo, especially if he's going to try to come back out and finish the game for the Jumbos in the 9th. Hall's first pitch to Cooper Mooney is going to be a ball. A bit low on that one. And it's weird because you get pitchers like Justin Verlander who can crank it up and bring the triple digits in the late inning games and be their own closer. That is endurance, but I don't know if it's a weird. I don't want to call it endurance because it's different from endurance sports like running or swimming, where you do need to have endurance and you do need to just sort of like, I got to work for it. Because this is work, but it's a different kind of work.
It's definitely all mental.
I want to call it something else. Well,
not all mental, but
not
like
all mental.
I'd say it's
give him a
mostly
little
mental.
credit.
Oh, no, I mean, he's definitely tired.
Hall's next pitch is going to be swung on and missed. Strike 2.
But even with endurance sports like running and swimming, that's all in your head too. Like your body will perform if you push it hard enough.
That's true. That is a good point. Same kind of mental work, I guess.
I was a runner back in the day, not so much anymore.
Back in my day. Hall's next pitch is going to miss, probably a bit outside, given Mooney's lack of movement. A bit more skill, I think, involved in these movements.
This is true. Need to be a little bit more coordinated. I was one of the least coordinated people in my high school. So.
Fair. There's fair. Hall had not taken a pickoff move in some time, actually. This is the same inning we were talking about losing count of the pickoff attempts for Orsini, right? Wow, that seems like a while ago. 2-2 the count. That's going to be wrapped on the ground to Falkson, who makes the easy play for the putout. And that will do it for the Bantams in the 8th inning. So 1 run on no hits and 2 men left on base in that inning. 1 error for the Jumbos also in that case. Bantams have regained a bit of their lead to 5-3. Jumbos will be coming up in the bottom of the 8th inning. Don't go anywhere. We've still got more baseball coming right at you. And we're back to baseball at Huskin Fields. Bottom of the 8th inning, and the Jumbos have the top of their lineup primed and ready to go against Andrew DeRoche. DeRoche came in last inning to relieve Eric Mole after a bit of a meltdown. Brought the Jumbos within 1. DeRoche managed to get the last out of the inning and bring things home for the Bantams. Strike 1 on the first pitch to Elias Varinos. And strike 2 makes it a quick 0-2 from Andrew DeRoche in the bottom of the 8th inning. Varinos is 0 for 3 right now with a pair of groundouts to third base. Fly out to right field as well. This one's sort of corked foul, and a good effort from the first baseman, Stamatis. But that will keep him alive at 0-2.
DeRoche seems to be throwing harder in this inning than he was in the last inning, almost as though he continued his warm-up.
Warmed up, yeah, it was part of it. If you get your out as part of your warm-up, then, why should it matter? Swing and a miss from Elias Venturas sits him down, and the first out of the 8th inning. Lights are on at Huskin Field, as I was so helpfully pointed out by the press box. We are officially ready for night baseball. Huge lie. We are not ready for night baseball. I wish we were. That'd be one of the greatest things ever if we could do night baseball, but not to be. Big hit from Ryan Dawes is going to be lofted out to right field, but an easy play for Christian Orsini, the right fielder. 2 down in the 8th. Jumbos have got to make something happen pretty quickly with not a lot left. 4 outs left here for the Jumbos. 5-3 in favor of Trinity. It was a pitcher's duel for the first about 7 innings or so. And it's still not been a high-scoring game for sure, but the offense has definitely been more present.
Yeah, the bats have woken up a little bit. We've seen both teams starting to hit the ball.
DeRoche throwing hard, missed the strike zone on that one. Count goes to 1-0.
Especially in that 7th inning, it was the 3rd time through the lineup for both teams. We started to see people really getting their licks in.
DeRoche's off-speed pitch this time is going to trickle in for a strike, even the count at 1-1. DeRoche comes set, delivers. The windmill position again. Big swing from Tommy O'Hara is going to bring the count to 1-2. Trinity has been following basically exactly the blueprint they needed. They got out early, they added to the lead, and their pitching has just been lights out. Minus the 7th inning, of course. DeRoche delivers. In the dirt this time, 2-2 the count. In keeping with the framework of pitcher-batter psychology, it's 1-2 late in the game. Anything, with one of the more dangerous hitters in the lineup up right now, anything even resembling good is probably going to get swung at.
And you can't expect a good pitch either. You've got to assume that one's going to bounce somewhere along the line.
At the same time, this is what we were talking about. It's a similar vein to what we were talking about, learning how to pitch and that kind of endurance you need to keep pitching. Train your eye. You train that batter's eye to see the pitch just as it comes out of the hand. But a big swing and a miss means DeRoche wins this round. 3 up, 3 down for the Jumbos in the 8th. No runs on no hits and no men left on base. And O'Hara ends up with a 1 for 4 on the day with 2 strikeouts. Moving on to the top of the 9th. And you've got Brendan Pierce, Alex Rodriguez, and Ben Reinisch coming up for the Bantams. Don't go anywhere. We've got the last inning of this season opener for the Jumbos coming up.
Your attention, please. Now pitching for the Jumbos, number 19, Kevin Galasso.
And we're back for the last inning of this NESCAC Trinity opener for the 3-game set. Brendan Pierce stepping in for the 3rd time. Watch that one go by his knees for a strike. Kevin Galasso is your new pitcher for the Jumbos. Kevin Galasso with a 3.86 ERA has been in 5 games so far. Started 1-1 record so far. That one's going to be smacked into left field for a base hit. Brendan Pierce with his 2nd hit on the day. First hit was a double in that big 7th inning for the Bantams, and then was proceeded to get picked off in that pick-off happy 7th inning for the Jumbos defensively. Alex Rodriguez stepping up to the plate. He is 0 for 2 with a walk so far. Strikeout, a walk, and a fly out, excuse me.
How many times have you said Alex Rodriguez stepping up to the plate in your head?
It's not a sentence I thought I'd ever get to say. And I've heard it a lot. Alex Rodriguez coming up to the plate, and I'm glad that the Trinity University Bantams get to allow me to live out my childhood like this. So Galasso checks the runner. Another righty though, so it's going to be tough to do anything in the way of actually picking off the runners. But hey, if Hall can do it, why can't Galasso? So Kevin Galasso, or KG, comes set. Off-speed pitch is going to trickle in for a strike. 0-2 the count.
I can see the
Excuse me,
resemblance.
0-1
Looks
the
like
count.
KG.
KG's a good nickname. I feel like that's a rite of passage on a baseball team. You have to have something that you can easily yell from the dugout. So Will Shackelford gets a lot of Billy calls. Tommy O'Hara is Tommy O or T.O., et cetera, et cetera. Pickoff attempt was unsuccessful. Comes set and delivers in the dirt. 2-1 the count. Or excuse me, 1-1 the count.
That was a good smother there, really keeping the runner at first there.
This late in the game, everyone's just trying to stay warm. Make sure things don't get too far out of hand. Bantams would like to add to their lead, but they are sitting pretty at the moment. Nothing doing on that pickoff attempt again. It's tough as a righty. Righty to the first base, because you have to turn all the way around. You're not already facing the runner in that scenario. Falkson on the bag. Runner goes, swing and a miss, and that ball trickles away from the backup, and that will bring him all the way around to 3rd base. Brendan Pierce taking advantage of 2 lapses of defensive prowess with the Jumbos. That's why you have backups, but then it doesn't happen.
Something's going on here. He was just sent back to first.
Oh, was it a foul ball, maybe?
You said the batter was out, I thought.
Catcher's interference. Catcher's interference for catcher or batter's interference?
Yeah,
batter's interference. We are getting word from the press box that it was actually the batter's interference. Something happened to the throw such so that the play down at second was actually negatively impacted. So that development is entirely erased. And the Jumbos catch a huge break here in the top of the 9th.
Batter is out and the runner goes back to first.
Well, go figure. I don't even know how to score that. I have never once had to work with that before, but I guess you score that BI. Unfortunate for Rodriguez, but that's the way she goes. So 3rd baseman Ben Reinisch steps in. First pitch strike. Was looking around at and talking about the defensive lapses, and all of a sudden I see the coach and Alex Rodriguez walking back to the dugout. Funny, Alex Rodriguez should be called for interference on that one. Yeah, I just have to make mention of that. Galasso's pickoff attempt is unsuccessful.
Nothing against this Alex Rodriguez, but I can't say that I'm sad.
Ironic, I think, is the word I'd use here. Galasso comes set. delivers. Runner goes
Runner
again
goes.
and makes it again. Brendan Pierce has got a set of wheels on him. Successful steal even without the interference.
And here comes
And the time has come. Coach Casey is strolling out from
He's going to go talk to the umpire.
Gonna
He
go
wants
talk
a
to the
clarification on
third
that call.
base. Which call they?
On the play at second
Oh.
base there.
You mean the batter's interference?
No, the steal right there. He thought he had him out. The shortstop from Tufts also thought he was out, and he took that long stroll. It took him about 15 seconds to get over there to give him a piece of his mind.
A couple short words. Third base guy must be the crew chief.
Well, no, here's the one that made the call because the umpires move
Oh,
after
did I
the
miss
stolen
that?
base.
Good lord. That's what you get for dividing your attention between the scorecard and what's actually happening on the field. So Hall still appears to be in. Hall is going to take this one all the way home. This is his burden to bear. These are his rocks and his ruck, and he's got to take them all the way. So 0 on the count to Christian Orsini, or excuse me, Ben Reinisch. One away with the batter's interference. Stolen base means there is a runner on second. That's Brendan Pierce, who honestly has actually stolen 3 bases in this inning, so that's just impressive by itself. Galasso checks Pierce, who has established himself as a threat to steal.
He's stolen 3 bases, yet he's only at second.
It's a tough draw. Galasso checks the runner, delivers. In the dirt, bounces off the plate. Count goes to 2-1. A good scoop by the catcher, Eric Schneff. If you look closely, Alex, you can actually see on his left wrist, Schneff's left wrist, that's a playbook, kind of like the quarterbacks have.
Interesting.
Which I would not have guessed catchers needed, but hey, what do I know?
Maybe he's got all the scouting reports on there, you know. Oh, pitch this guy outside, this guy up high.
Another exaggerated leg kick from Galasso. That could have been one of the plays he called with
He was ready for that.
with the signs down there. My favorite thing about catchers is that they'll either paint their nails, or I'll tell you as soon as Galasso pitches here, his delivery. Probably outside. The height looked all right from here, especially with the low zone. But they'll paint the catchers, at least in the bigs, and should doing this again. But they'll paint their nails like all kinds of neon colors so that pitchers can actually see them against the white outline of their pants. And there could be some hilarious colors chosen too. Galasso
Yellow's always a popular one.
comes set, delivers. Low again. That'll be ball 4 and the walk to Ben Reinisch. So much for that video game speed we were talking about earlier, where we were cruising through. We're at 2.5 hours now and getting close to it, but we're still going to run up right against that usual 3-hour runtime for games, baseball games of this nature. Two men on. Galasso's first pitch is going to be in there for a strike, 0-1. Christian Orsini is 0 for 2 on the day so far. He was hit by a pitch in the 8th, but came around to score the only run of that inning. Galasso checks the runner, Pierce twice, delivers, and hits it again for a second strike, 0-2 the count.
That one also looked to be below the knees there.
Orsini, business end of a 2-strike count. Galasso comes set, long look back to Pierce, but still delivers. Bit low that time, 1-2 the count. Two men on here. Pierce with a single, finally got his stolen base after Alex Rodriguez had some batter interference. Ben Reinisch took the walk. Both threats to score on a well-hit ball. Galasso, long look back to Pierce, but comes set. This one's going to be smacked into left field, but McLaughlin's going to be able to track that. He comes set and makes the easy play for the second out of the 9th inning. Galasso now with 2 down in the 9th. Johnny Stamatis coming up for the 5th time. 5th time this game. That's what you get for being a leadoff guy. Just the most plate appearances out of everyone. But he's had himself quite a bit of a game. 2 for 3, a walk, 2 singles, 2 runs scored. He can hold his head high no matter how the game ends up. Galasso, long look back to Pierce. Making sure he's not going. The pitch is going to be low. Chef's going to keep Pierce honest on that one. Count goes to 1-0. Galasso taking his time, not hurried. Definitely not as quick of a rhythm as either Mole or Hall. Likes to pick and choose his points, his attacks. But he comes set. Yeah. This one's going to be popped foul. Past the bleachers on the first base side. Count evens at 1-1.
Even the Trinity reliever, I can't remember his name, but he was pitching very fast with a quick tempo.
DeRoche.
Yeah,
Andrew
DeRoche. As soon as he got the
DeRoche,
ball back,
Mole,
he was coming
Hall.
in again.
Guess they all just wanted to get out of here. It's chilly now. It has officially become not warm. Long look back to Pierce. Galasso delivers anyway, and that's going to be a ball probably inside if I had to guess. 2-1 the count. 2 away in the 9th. Trinity Bantams up on the Tufts Jumbos 5-3 in this NESCAC home opener for the Jumbos. Disappointing game so far for the Jumbo offense, but a fairly good one for the defense so far. Big swing and a miss. And another pickoff attempt from Schneff. Close, but no cigar on the attempts. 2-2 the count. And apart from O'Hara's throwing error back in the, I believe it was 6th inning. 6th or 7th inning, one of the two. The Jumbo defense has had a very stellar game so far. Galasso, 2-2, 2 outs and 2 men on. Long look back to Pierce once again. Delivers. This one's going to be smacked foul into the Jumbo bullpen. Count stays at 2-2. Chatter's been picking up again now that the players can sense the end of the game. It's getting to the point. Everyone's ready to go, but you don't want to say that. You don't want to channel your energy into getting out of here. So you channel your energy into the productive stuff. Encouragement for your pitcher, encouragement for your batter.
Mostly just using all your energy that you have because you're trying to stay warm at this point.
Stay warm and just be active, even though you can't really be active because you have to stand around. The pitch. Outside this time. Count goes full, 3-2. It's a battle. No Trinity batters have gone down quietly this game. That's been a hallmark, especially exactly from the first inning. It has been a battle all the way through. This one is no exception. Johnny Stamatis has ground out pitches on every single one of his at-bats. Galasso. This one's going to be smacked into right field, and Nachmanoff's going to have to let that fall. Pierce is going to score from second. Reinisch is going to score from third. And that is a solid single for Stamatis and a big win for him in that duel. Score goes to 6-3 in favor of the Bantams.
Quick meeting there at the mound with everyone. Getting everyone's head back on the same page. Let that one go. Forget about it.
And the thing to remember is that this is not actually that unusual for the Trinity offense so far on the season. Looking at what they've done so far in the last 3 games, their last game against Salva Regina, they won 5-0. But in the 4 games preceding that, they never scored more than 3 runs. So this could be a new sort of era of solid production from the offense. as Stamatis easily takes second on that runners at the corners stealing situation. No attempt from Schnepp to even challenge that. 1-0 the count. That first pitch missed for Koperniak. This one's going to be popped up, straight up for the catcher in foul territory, but O'Hara's going to track that down for the last out of the 9th inning, and the Jumbos have escaped. So that's 1 run on 2 hits and 2 men left on base for the Bantams. The score is now 6-3 in favor of Trinity. Don't go anywhere. We've got the last half of the inning coming right up. Jumbos will be looking to steal the win away. We'll be right back. And we're back for the last final morsel of action from the series opener for the Tufts Jumbos and the Trinity Bantams. Trinity regained most of their lead all the way back out 6-3 in the bottom of the 9th inning. Jumbos need to score 4 in order to come away with the win. Malcolm Nachmanoff steps in as the first representative for the Jumbo offense. Nachmanoff is 2 for 3 on the day, 2 singles, but had Falkston behind him, got into a fielder's choice both times. So productive at the plate, but frustrating in the scoring runs department. Count is even at 1-1 for his 4th at bat. And an unfortunate turn of events as Nachmanoff managed to hold up his swing, but still made contact.
I think that pitch was going to be a strike anyway.
Foul
Might
ball.
have been inside.
Count goes to 1-2. DeRoche comes set, delivers. Big swing and a miss is going to sit him down for what could be the last time. 1 away in the bottom of the 9th. And exactly what the Trinity Bantam pitchers had to do. They had to silence the big hitters in the Jumbo lineup. O'Hara neutralized. Nachmanoff neutralized. Falkson mostly neutralized. He's 0 for 1 on the day with a ground out and 2 fielder's choices. So he did score 1 of the runs after that fielder's choice. That strange sort of slanted lineup. And first pitch, hit by pitch. First runner for the Jumbos in the bottom of the 9th. And they'll take base runners any way they can get. So
He made no effort to get out of the way of that one. You take one for the team there.
Absolutely. Stats don't matter when the game's on the line. So, and it looks like DeRoche is done. McLaughlin getting taken out for Ryan Day, but we'll have to wait for the pitching replacement. We'll have to wait for DeRoche's pitching replacement to get warmed up to see him hit. Looks like can't actually see anything. What number is he? Number 3, McLean Hill. McLean Hill. Oh, lordy, a 24 ERA, which doesn't actually mean all that much, but he has recorded 3 innings pitched, 3 saves on the season so far, but has given up 8 runs during those 3 innings pitched. So a reliever for sure, but potentially an erratic one. So he only needs 2 more outs though here in the 9th, so it doesn't really matter so long as he can get the ball in the glove. I think is the main issue. Knocking my clipboard everywhere. Thankfully the papers didn't go flying too far.
I've never seen first name with the MC and next letter capitalized before. See that with last names all the time.
Oh, yeah.
It's
I guess
a new
well,
look.
well, if your first name is McLean, then that kind of makes sense, I would think.
Well, yeah, but I've just never seen that before.
With any kind of name?
No, I've never. I guess like LaDainian Tomlinson was.
Yeah,
Alan.
that's what I was thinking. A lot
Yeah.
of basketball players definitely have their.
Yeah.
LeBron James is one our general manager just shouted out. So they exist. They're around. McLean. What was his last name? McLean Hill. R.J. Hall, Hill Hall, Galasso, DeRoche.
Hill Hall, I avoid that place.
Hill Hall. McLean Hill. With Ryan Day pinch hitting for Mike McLaughlin. McLaughlin was definitely struggling at the plate, so probably a good move to bring in a fresh set of eyes. First pitch from McLean Hill is outside for a ball. 1-0 count to Ryan Day. Lead at first, taken by Falkson. Strike there is going to even the count at 1-1 for Ryan Day. Wind is blowing pretty strongly out to left field right now, so so long as Day can wait on it, he has a good chance of getting it out there pretty far. That ball's going to be too low even for our low ball umpire. 2-1 the count. Day's the kind of detail work guy that you want to have on hand. Not that kind of detail, though, as Ryan Day smacks this one into right field. Not really far enough to do more than advance the runner, but keeping it away from the out. Runners on first and second now. Tying run is now up to bat. Exactly what needed to happen in that situation. Will Shackelford coming up to the plate. He's having himself a day, 2 for 3 with a single and a double. Caught stealing on his first time around, so he'll want to avoid that.
Well, that's all right. I don't think he's bunted on this at bat.
Probably don't want to bunt here, especially with only 1 out. So be
Down
one
3.
thing if they were down by 2, but they need the hits. 1 out, so the pressure isn't on too much, but really do need to keep up the theme of not making outs here. That ball's going to catch the outside corner for a strike. 0-1.
Although there's space down the first base line. Could do it.
There's space. No denying there's always space. There's always space to do stuff. Could dump something right along the left field line if you really wanted to.
I just think he puts it over the 354 mark, and it'd be nice.
That one's going to go way high and outside. Even the count at 1-1. Shackelford, one of the sort of happy-go-lucky swingers, but doing well so far this season. Came into this game with a 393 average. That one's going to swing in there for a strike. 1-2 the count now. Shackelford digs back in. 1-2 count. Day doesn't look like too much of a threat to steal. Not really checking the runners too much, but that one's going to go far outside to even the count at 2-2. Neither jumbo runner is actually too much of a threat to steal. There's no reason to risk an unnecessary out at this late hour. 2-2 the count. Few looks from Hill, back to the second base. Big swing and a miss from Shackelford is going to sit him down for the second out of the 9th. Not thrilled with himself. And it's all going to come down to John Michella.
Boomer.
Boomer Saraga, the pinch hitter for Eric Schneff.
That's a baseball name. Boomer, great name.
I lived with him freshman year, actually. It was him and a guy named Seabass, which is short for Sebastian, which is another one of the most baseball names I can hear of, so I can think of at least. So Boomer not happy with that first pitch. He'll take that one for 1-0. Time to pull out the stops, though, as Coach Casey is demonstrating. I can't even imagine the feeling to be that guy to be called up in this situation.
Yeah.
Need a hit. That one's going to be shot foul. We sort of watched it go by. It was one of those cool things of just like right in front of our secondary camera. We just can't imagine being the guy though, because
yeah,
that's the case. 2 outs, 2 men on base, and you're down by 3. You are the guy. You're the guy that your coach is calling on to get you a hit. You haven't been playing all game. Got a name. Your name is Boomer, for crying out loud. The next pitch, another big cut. That one was a bit high. Trying to protect the plate though. If I remember correctly, actually, his birth name is Andrew Saraga. So much like myself, but he's taken up the mantle of Boomer so much that he is literally listed on the roster as Boomer Saraga. So Boomer it is. Looking for some magic with a 1-2 count. Here's the pitch. Big swing is going to fall in on the right field line. That's a base hit. He trips over first base. He's not going anywhere after that. So that's just going to be a glamour single, but that's exactly what the Jumbos needed. Foxon scores all the way around from second, and Ryan Day is going to advance all the way to third. Boomer Saraga keeps the Jumbo hopes alive here in the bottom of the 9th. And a great protracted battle for Saraga.
It's quite the boom.
Brings it all the way, and he brought the boom. He brought it all the way around for an RBI. So
almost around first base.
Stepped up, and not exactly what he needs to have. He probably could have made it second, which would have been better. But you know what? They'll take it. You do what you can. He didn't make it out. He drove in a run. Brandon Bay stepping in for Justin Mills, the 5th guy to be substituted into that slot, 2 of which were defensive. Brandon Bay, the 3rd offensive substitution on this one.
It's kind of an interesting move to sub the guy at third base, not the guy at first base here.
Brandon Bay's played in 2 games, had 2 at-bats so far. First pitch strike on that one. 0-1 the count. Brandon Bay. Long look from Hill. That's going to be a high on that one, even the count 1-1. Another one of those things. It's the same situation. When you're Coach Casey, who are you going to call? Well, Brandon Bay, I think one of the last eligible players at this point in time.
I was going to say, they've used almost all 25 guys.
The pitch. Bay didn't like that for its inside nature, but our esteemed umpire liked it enough to give it a strike call. Boomer Saraga was just in the same scenario, though. 1-2. He fouled off a pitch before landing it right inside the right field line. So you can't be afraid when it's 1-2. You cannot be afraid of situations like this. Hill takes a look. The pitch. That's going to get away from the catcher, Alex Rodriguez. Easy score for Ryan Day on that one, and Saraga will take second like nobody's business. Jumbos have brought it within 5 on the wild pitch. Or excuse me, within 1. It is 6-5. Jumbos have brought it up to 5 and within 1 of the Trinity Bantams. 2 runs scored in the bottom of the 9th.
Here comes the pinch runner here.
Pinch runner coming out for the Jumbos here. Boomer Saraga has been replaced. Christian Zazali, a shortstop, definitely a bit speedier than Boomer Saraga at this point, but Jumbos would like to be able to score on a single, and there's nothing against Boomer, especially after what he did, but got to have the wheels. 2-2 the count. The pitch. Swing and a miss, and that's going to be it for baseball here at Huskins Field. Jumbos put together a really nice late inning rally, but just could not muster the firepower to keep it going. For the game, Trinity wins by a score of 6-5. Trinity had 6 runs on 8 hits with 1 error. Jumbos had 5 runs on 7 hits with 1 error. And Trinity did exactly what we said at the beginning of the game. They had to get out early and just stay on top, smother the offense as much as possible. And that's what happened. So Jumbos will have 2 more chances to get revenge. And what do you think? Are they going to change anything up tomorrow?
I think tomorrow, we're just going to hopefully see the bats come alive a little bit earlier. It's tough to go 6 scoreless at the beginning to get things started. So if they can get out to a bit of an earlier start, I think they'll be in good shape tomorrow.
JumboCast will be covering both of those games tomorrow, so here's hoping you can join us for one or both of them. So with that, I'm Andrew McMillan.
And I'm Alex Broder.
Thanks for joining us. See you next time.